Cheers, my mans.
Cheers, dude.
Good to see you.
Always
Yes,
good
sir.
to see you, dude.
One more round.
Fourth time. It's getting kind of repetitive, man.
Are we the like? Have you done more than 4 podcasts with the same?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
I've definitely.
I thought we were.
I have a. I mean, you are special. when we did that first podcast, that was one of the like. It definitely jolted our listenership and like our viewership on certain podcasts and stuff. And it's been like every time we do an episode, it's been pretty well received and pretty steady, up there in the big leagues and stuff. So every once in a while, you know how YouTube is, like for no rhyme or reason, some podcasts will go through the stratosphere of like listenership. And it's like, why? Why did that work? And then like the one you put all the bells and whistles in and polish, it's like 600 views. Is like,
Yeah, like this is the one. I just spent 3 hours typing in SEO words. This is the one. 80 views. What the fuck?
Nope, I got to sell something or I need chicks in here.
Yeah.
Man, thumbnails, everything.
Yeah. I haven't seen y'all's thumbnails in a while. Like, do y'all still kind of lean towards it? There's like this like trendy thing with thumbnails, right? That you have like the highlighted outline of something, a lot of big words, and it looks kind of action wise, but it's usually a clip of something in the video, or
Ours are usually like screen grabs from the video and then just some fancy wordage in there that are like bright and eye catchy. So like Mr. Beast said it really well. He's like, man, my video got 2 million views. That just means it should have got 10. My thumbnail wasn't good enough. I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. And then June started doing our thumbnails, which I've always done the thumbnails, not that great at it. But as soon as June started doing the thumbnails and like took them to another level, we probably doubled in views.
Nice.
It's because when you think about when you scroll through YouTube and you type up, I want to learn about SD cards, and you scroll through a bunch of thumbnails and they all look like shit. You're not going to click on it until you get to the one that looks like this looks professional. Yeah, that's the one I'm going to pull on. So it's a big part of it. Thumbnail, the title. The title is that's the bot on YouTube, and SEO words. And then the write up in the bottom, you need like 2 paragraphs of just regurgitating the title over and over again.
Oh, so that helps find it through like you said, the SEO stuff.
The words in the thumbnail, that's also the bot reads that. So like if it's about a street glide, it needs to say street glide, 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 street glide.
Yeah. Because
you get ranked on how well that SEO word performs on YouTube. So you get a 1 through 10 on the SEO keyword ranking, and you want to be like number 10. You want to be a top rank SEO word, because that's how that video, when people search street glide, if you have the top SEO wordage in there, your video is going to be the first one to come up.
God damn it, I got to find a nerd. Somebody to come in there and just
You became one.
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, it's Think Media on YouTube.
I watch Think Media. It's a good channel.
I learned everything from those guys. It's brilliant. Yeah, they're very in depth, very good stuff.
Sorry guys, I got a little something in my throat.
Same. We just it's frozen.
Yeah, I think I'm getting over AIDS right now. I can't really figure it out. It's always weird.
My AIDS has been acting up. They got a cure for that now. 1 pill.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, straight up, dude. You can take a pill and it cures HIV, and you test negative from here on out.
Why haven't they been promoting that? I think a lot more unprotected sex could kind of.
I mean,
why promote the cure?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
That's a different rabbit hole. For a different podcast.
We can get down that one, but okay, let's go ahead.
But anyway, dude, thank you guys for doing. Actually, this whole thing is like coming together pretty uniquely awesome. Between like Blockhead and you guys coming together, building these bikes, and then like kind of literally almost dead nuts in the center of the country, coming together to kind of like, I don't know, face off, or is there going to be a good arm wrestle or something out of this?
Oh man,
it's the exact same amount of miles for both of us to ride here.
Yeah,
from him from Florida it was like 1,100, and then from us from Phoenix it's like 1,100.
Yeah,
1,100, something like that.
Well, the whole concept is dope. So like, to give people context of that, like how did this whole transpire with, building these bikes, the competition, or not so much competition, but just the presentation of like the whole competitive nature of building a bike against another, man on YouTube and things like that.
I mean, we're all biker build-off fans,
for sure,
for starters, but I think it was like 22. When did Blockhead come out and borrow my bike for Bike Week? 22, probably.
Yeah, two bike weeks ago. Yeah.
So he's sponsored by Law Tigers as well. So he was coming. They brought him out for Bike Week, and they were like, "Hey, we got this influencer. I didn't know who he was or anything. I got this influencer YouTube guy coming out. he needs a bike to ride. And I had my 21, that Road Glide that we built for House of Harley for Tommy.
Yeah.
And that he's like, oh, you got a bike ride? I'm like, yeah, I'll put him on this one.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, that'd be great. So he came out, filmed at the shop. Super, super cool guy.
Yeah.
And he helped us a lot. Like getting to know him, he helped me a lot, learn a lot about YouTube and a lot of that stuff that we talked about earlier.
That
and
nerd shit
else.
you just put out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. He threw me down the nerd tunnel real hard, you know, and he helped us kind of grow that a couple years back or become more educated on, I guess. And we talked a lot, and I was beating him up for information all the time. And then he came to me about this. He's like, yo, it'd be sick to do some biker build-off stuff. And then I talked a little shit about Harley Davidson on the internet, and then it went viral and blew up really big.
What specifically did you say? I remember this
Something with a latte. And
I was real fucking furious about this bike that I was working on. And I was going off, and I called him latte drinking polo shirt wearing motherfuckers. And Teo, one of the VPs of marketing, I believe is what his job is, he Uber Eats me a latte to the shop the next day.
Nice.
And
That's a good
like,
flex.
That
was funny.
Yeah.
That
Gained 100% of my respect right there. I was like, that's fucking. I was just like, touche, bud.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Oh yeah. So Teo Uber Eats me a latte and was like, you know, just from us latte drinking motherfuckers over here at Harley Davidson. I was like, that's awesome. And then we talked, and he hit me up. We had a meeting, and then we kind of started talking about it. And I was introduced to Matt, and Matt made everything happen. Really, I mean, I am in this industry because of biker build off. 100%. I'm the age where biker build off was huge when I was like 25, you know, and I had, what was it back then? VRV, or how'd you record TV shows?
DVR.
Yeah. I had every episode DVR'd. And back then, you know, you'd watch that episode 400 times because there wasn't really anything else, you know, or you'd read magazines 400 times and have them memorized front to back. I had them all categorized in my living room, you know. And I just would watch and was just a huge, huge fan. And when the economy crashed in 2008, I needed something to do. So went to school, and I've been trying to get to that this whole time. And then when it was presented to us to do this, it's like, I'm 100%.
100%. Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Well, you know, on that note, for sure, like even the conversations Matt and I have had over the last last year or so about how the brand has leaned into like open the door to this new part of like, you know, the culture, right? The building off stuff. I mean, I guess it kind of started with some of the Born Free builds, but now it's kind of looking at different things of using, you know, different people in the industry to kind of go this direction. You know, you kind of like said something that like, did you wake up one day and decide you want to be an influencer?
Me?
Yes.
No.
Or did you like,
No.
like that's one of those words that gets thrown around to talk about people that are trying to capitalize off opportunity that exists in this motorcycle world, right?
Yep.
It's like I know you well enough, and I know you well enough to know that like you guys didn't wake up one day and look in the mirror and go, "You're an influencer."
No.
You know, you get out there and influence and go be fucking trendy as fuck, dude.
I'm
you know
still
what I mean?
not claiming that, but
Exactly, but it's a byproduct of doing cool shit that people are interested in.
yeah.
So getting lumped into like a category of people that are looking for something to exploit or market versus someone that's just kind of showing the world their life, which is essentially what I feel like you guys do on your YouTube channel. Hey, doors up, signs on. This is what we're doing today.
Yeah.
You know,
It was born out of necessity for us.
Yeah.
COVID happened, and we needed a way to keep the business alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then another YouTuber, John's Moto Garage,
Mm-hmm.
we built a bike for him, and he came in, and I've had a YouTube since 2009. I just stunt riding videos, and I would post stuff here and there, and I didn't know anything about it or even think it was something to do.
Yeah.
And he was like, you should start a YouTube and really get it going. I was like, I got a YouTube. It doesn't really do shit. You know, I think I had 1,800 subscribers, and I was monetized already. I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that was. He's like, you can make pretty good money. I'm like, right, dude. He goes, I make $6,500 a month off of YouTube, which we still don't make that kind of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, what? Okay, Trent, we're starting a YouTube. And then we just started pushing with the YouTube. And that's when we got in the Bagger Race League, and we built like the whole thing basically off building that Softail. And it came out and trying to stunt ride a Softail and then racing a Softail. And then it just turned into, it just kept growing. We just kept growing and growing. So we just kept pushing with it. And then the website, I've had a website since KruesiOriginals.com has been around since 2014, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And we might have done $5,000 or $6,000 a month in sales. It was very mediocre, just selling a few of the parts that we had, like crash bars and handlebars and stuff. And then it kept the YouTube was boosting sales on our website. The website kept growing and kept growing. So we kept pushing the website, and then we kept making, and I was making all this custom parts for all these custom builds. People were like, yo, man, I want to buy that. And I was like, well, I just made that one. I was like, well, fuck, maybe I should make 40. So then started making 40, and then it just kind of.
And we had a parts line all of a sudden.
And then we had a YouTube, and now we have a full-time media team that's a bunch of money, and we don't service motorcycles anymore, and we're a fucking YouTube studio now.
It's really a good like visual representation of how YouTube and things like that have changed like certain types of businesses within this world. Because I think you're probably the same way that I thought about looking at this. Like, I got to get well known enough that people want all this work, and I can hire more people and just grow the business like traditionally the way we've always seen this be grown, instead of figuring out how to capitalize off all these different pockets of existence in different platforms and whatnot. It's like Thrashing does a great job of it as well, of being able to go out there, do like a little bit of what's going on, but talk about a new product or a new hoodie or a new hat or whatever. And it works. It makes sense. It's like
they're kind of the epitome of what you want to do with it. They're killing.
And they grew fast too.
Killing it. Lance is killing it. He's been, he's had a name for a long time, and he's really, really good at it.
It's simple too. Like when you watch it, like, God damn, it's so simple.
Yeah.
Man.
The hardest part about it is finding the personalities.
Of
like, like the dude that's not going to crumble on camera, or, like you pull out a lens and he's like, oh, freaking out. But
like, I don't want to turn the face on.
Do
I
you
don't
think
want to be the, hey, YouTube guy. I just, fuck you. I feel like shit today. You're getting me in a bad mood. That's just, you're getting whatever is going on that day. That's what we're doing. And it's,
I think on that note though, like if you don't like, when you edit a video, like you sit there and you watch this clip 40 times to find the right time to cut it and make it, polish it, right? And if you're the person in the video, like you're just like every time you watch, you say that fucking word the wrong way, or like, and you're like, oh man, I really you get self-conscious and you just like don't want to put it out there. That's why I struggle with it a lot. Like I don't, when I do a podcast, I say stupid shit all the time, and I put my foot in my mouth, and I do all the things that you don't want to do if you had the ability to go back and edit it out. But I don't go back and watch the podcast word for word, line for line, because if I did, I would go fucking crazy.
You gotta leave that shit in there. Though.
Yes,
I mean that's the reality. Like, we don't cut out the shit when we mess up or when we don't know what we're doing. I'm gonna leave it in there. Like, I'm real. I'm not Superman. I don't know everything on the planet. I don't get everything right all the time. Just keep it real. To be successful on YouTube, I think you have to be willing to be the dildo. That's really what it boils down to. You got to be willing to be a fucking dildo, and that's what makes it real. You got to be comfortable with.
Yeah, no shame is what you know.
To be this guy, you know how hard this is to be this guy.
It's
I'm holding a camera and I'm filming myself. I feel like a fucking dildo doing that. So it's
the biggest selfie flex in the world.
Yeah.
It's tough. So that was also immediately like why we hired a film person and stuff, because I was like, I don't want to be selfie YouTube guy. I want it to look more like a television series, more like a real production. Because like I said, we talked earlier, I've done 5 pilots for TV over the years and done a bunch of TV shit, and was always trying to get the television series. And then motorcycles on TV are dead. Like, well, let's just start our own shit then. We'll just make our own series. That's why I don't want to be a how-to channel. I don't want to be a review channel. None of that. It wants to be an entertainment series that's got education and some marketing smashed into it. Like, I want people to watch us.
And
I want people to watch us and get super pumped, and then they want to get off the couch and go do something. I want them to watch us and be excited to go achieve something themselves. Like,
go do it.
I don't want them to watch us and just get glued to the couch for 6 months watching YouTube.
It's the difference between inspiring and influencing. You know what I'm saying? Inspire them to go like live their own version of this or try something or whatever the case may be,
Anybody can do it. I come from a town of 7,000 people when I was watching Biker Build Off, in the middle of nowhere with zero opportunities, grew up extremely poor, shit, everything. And then now I'm in Texas in a podcast room with you and Harley and Trent. And we just met
Ramon.
I mean, I'm a little young for like the Biker Build Off thing. So like YouTube is how I found you through YouTube. I was like an old YouTube subscriber, like I got into Harley.
How old are you?
I was like, I'm 31.
Okay, yeah.
So nice.
I'm
I didn't
46.
say that in a condescending kind of way, did I?
No. You're good.
No, I mean,
but
I watched Biker Build Off as a little kid.
I watched it as like a kid though, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But like,
okay.
and I wasn't like as a kid, like, oh, I want to build bikes, you know? Like I
Yeah.
got into Harleys and then I found Kruesi Originals on YouTube and I was like, man, that's rad. They're only 3 hours away from me. I went to MMI and then I met Ryan and now I'm sitting in Texas with,
He was Matt with the drone.
they didn't even know my name.
We thought his name was Matt. He had a drone. Like, where's that Matt dude with the drone?
Wow.
Bunch of dicks.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool about the whole Phoenix thing is the MMI vein, right? Of
Oh,
if
it's
you-
a huge, it's the best way to open doors.
and I mean, you guys
You
are
don't
all
learn
down
a
the
lot,
street
but-
from MMI, essentially, right?
Not now.
Not anymore.
moved it?
They moved to
Closed
Avondale.
the campus.
yeah.
It's an O'Reilly's fucking shipping hub now. And the campus is at UTI and they only have one room. It
Yeah, I
went from
think-
like 3,500 students a rotation, 3 rotations a day to a couple hundred in one room.
I think
What
Florida
do you think
has
that's
the
the
bigger
cause
campus.
of that?
The economy is
just
good.
economy.
Yeah, I mean, economy goes bad, school goes hard. A lot of people go to MMI and get out making $8 an hour.
The way they were selling MMI too has a
Yeah.
lot to do with it. They were selling like, oh yeah, you come to MMI when you graduate, $30 an hour. You know,
yeah,
And
it's like 2% of students actually get into the industry, and then I spent my first 5 years in the industry working for $10 an hour, and very high level shit. And in Phoenix, you're not going to make any money being a motorcycle mechanic because it's so saturated by MMI. And it was literally when I worked for NASI, when I left NASI, I was a lead builder there. I was making $15 an hour and I was working 80 hours a week and I was getting paid for 40. I'm not paying you. I'm like, dude, you owe me a bunch of money in overtime. He goes, that's just the price you pay if you want to have a fucking job here. I was like, and that's
also
just the way
labor
it
laws
was.
in
So
Arizona too.
it's
though.
not something.
Arizona's-
It's not something you go to school to be like, man, I'm gonna make all this money. I'm gonna do this. You do it because it's your passion.
You
Like,
pay the
this
cool
is-
tax.
This is what I'm gonna do in life. This is where I'm going, and no one's gonna stop me. And like, I never went there to go become a Harley Davidson mechanic. I went there to become a custom bike builder. And,
Yeah.
and that was the route that I wanted to do. And I was in school for probably 6 months. I got a job at Trask Performance. And then I met Jesse Rook like 4 days later, one of my idols, you know.
Yeah.
And me and Jesse became really good friends, and I worked with him for years, and it was just it all. I got super blessed by the right people at the right time.
I would say that the Phoenix, maybe more so, maybe Orlando back in the build-off days when there was a lot more of the shops were kind of centered around that Orlando kind of Central Florida area. You know, there's a lot of bike shops out of that stuff,
Yeah.
but Phoenix obviously big time too. But the networking you can build, you know, like
Yeah, and Phoenix
if you're
is
some
huge.
dude from some small town in America and you get to go be at this school and then you get to go sweep the floor at Ramjet every day and be around these parts and learn the parts and learn how things work. It's like every day is school if you look at it that way.
That's it. So MMI was high school, and Trask and Nassie was college.
Yeah.
And the problem now, though, I think with social media mostly is like a lot of these guys go to MMI and they come out thinking they're just going to be the big timer, and they want to come out. They don't realize that you got 5 years minimum of dues to pay.
Yeah.
Like, go clean the toilet. Go clean the toilet again. Like that's it. And nobody
tighten
wants
the seat.
Yeah, nobody wants to put that kind of time in anymore.
Yeah.
And man, like my first 5 years in the industry were probably the worst 5 years of my life, man. It was
Yeah.
hell work. Just it was brutal. It was brutal, but I wasn't gonna quit. I wasn't going anywhere. I was taking every bit of shit there was and everything else because nothing was gonna stop me. This is what I'm gonna do. And you've been doing the same shit. You know, like when you get into this world, you get a little taste of this world.
Yeah.
It's like
intoxicating.
getting hooked on some real good shit. You know,
Yeah.
like you're not getting off of it. There's no stepping away from it. I could be broke, which I was broke for a long time, but I was never leaving it because it was just
I always think about it every once in a while
can't give it up.
when like a bump shows up on my leg or, like my back hurts or, I'm like, fuck, insurance would be great. And just some, 401k, anything, right?
Something, yeah.
Vacation time,
Something to
something.
fall on. Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I
Paid
put 20
vacation.
years
Yeah.
into being a custom motorcycle guy. And then all my friends that put 20 years into like a job has like a month off paid. And
Yeah.
those are the guys I'm going to travel with. And I get no money while I'm gone. They're getting a check every week, right?
Oh,
Paychecks, yeah.
But
My wife gets 4 weeks of paid vacation. No, it might be five
Yeah.
weeks of paid vacation a year. And like, what is that?
but
What is that
To-
like?
it opens, I don't know, like what I was getting at is if I was to leave this and go pursue a little more of a safety career, which it's always in the back of my head, I'm not even going to lie, but
What would you do?
This is what I don't want to be. I don't want to be this guy where, let's just say it's here for example. My job here is, of course, I don't know shit about selling bikes, so I might be here sweeping the floor. Man, I used to do this.
Yeah.
Anybody that'll listen to me, man.
It's like being in Motley Crue, and then working at McDonald's. A good example of this? It's not like we're famous or any of that type of shit, but you get a little taste. You get a little taste of that. People knowing who you are, people like really wanting to get you to work on their shit, and like you get a little taste of that, and it's really hard.
It's the most.
There's no giving it up.
You guys can for sure attest to this, even more so than me now. But it's like the weirdest thing where you're like in certain rooms, in certain places in America, you might as well be fucking Brad Pitt, right? Mm-hmm. In others, you're fucking nobody. It's like this. It's such a hot and cold like mentality, like where you are. I'm not saying that because I think it's hard to figure out how to be just normal, but it is just hard to gauge it. Like, okay, well, I was gonna ask you because I talk shit about this all the time. So meet and greets, huh? What's that like?
Weird.
Yeah.
Very.
I don't think that's one thing I could ever do.
It's weird. So first one I ever did was started this with Harley, and it was cool, but it's just weird that people want to come meet us like that. It's so I always say we're real famous in really small circles.
Yes.
So when we go to like events or like we do stuff in California, it's insane. Like it's insane. I can't take a piss in California, and that gets kind of overwhelming. And to say like it's what I've wanted, I want to be famous. I want the world to know my name. I want Kruesi to be. I want to make a stamp when I leave this place.
Leave legacy, man.
But once it starts kind of happening, and you start going to events, and you can't go to the bathroom for like 4 hours because people are in your face the whole time and like wanting to meet you and take pictures and everything. It's intense, very, very intense. And then you get away from those and you're just walking through like somewhere else, like the grocery store, and someone's looking at you and you're like, oh, fuck, he knows who I am. He doesn't know who I am. He's just looking at me. Like, oh, he wants to talk to me. He doesn't want to fucking talk to me. But you just, you just get hammered with so many people at the events and other stuff. It gets wild. California we're pretty big out there. We can go to just a normal bar and people lose their shit. I was in a Vans the other day buying shoes, and a whole group of dudes made a huge scene inside that place. So me and my old lady like freaked out that I was in there, dude. And then the whole store, it was Black Friday. The whole place is full of people. They're like, oh my God, Kruesi in here, Kruesi. I'm like,
it's like a domino effect. If somebody starts running, everybody does.
Who is this guy? I get awkward as
dude.
Fuck, dude. I don't even know what to say. I'm like, thank you. Thanks. Right. Yes. Okay. I don't know what to say here. I'm very fucking embarrassed, but thank you very much. It's wild. It's weird. Yeah. And we're small, dude. We're fucking small. Like in the YouTube world, we are still a very small following wise.
But eyes on you on YouTube is different. Like that's the one place where all of a sudden a video can have. I always think about how weird this is. If you get a video, let's just say it's 1 million views, whatever, something insane, right? 1 million people saw my face. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. Dude, when you really start like breaking down the numbers, it's like, damn.
We're hitting like 4.4 million people a month right now.
Fuck.
On a 72,000 subscribers.
I didn't even think there's 1 million people that actually gave a fuck. No pun intended about Harleys in the world of this. Like, if you think about like the motorcycle demographic, it's like 3% of America that even is registered owners of motorcycles.
But the population is so massive. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Like we're in internet. We ship international every day.
Yeah. Oh, the international side of it. I forgot about
international
that.
too.
Dude, like our following in Sweden and Norway and shit is huge. And like Australia is huge. And
Abu Dhabi.
My 21 bagger's in Abu Dhabi now.
Nice.
A guy from there tracked down the dude that bought it, shipped it there. He has a collection, doesn't really ride, has a collection. He wants us now to build him an early model stunt bike. He's like, budget's this, do what you want. I just want this, and this. I love what you guys do. I think you build the most beautiful bikes.
Get him to like bring y'all out and do some shit out there, dude.
Sick, dude.
That'd be unreal.
And that's what we want to. We've had a free trip to Italy for like the European Bike Week for probably 3 years now, but it's just it's just intense. Do I really want to fly to Italy for a week? And
it's also right when like the show season ends here, and we're like looking forward to that break.
This year, I'd say this was the first year that was back to normal before COVID show wise. This was the first year that we have been like hammered with shows from April till now. We had probably one weekend off a month, if that. That we weren't on the road. And that's exhausting. Next year, we're going to make some changes. We're just going to focus on some real big ones, make some big blowout ones, and probably step away from a lot.
Yeah, have like a balance of like separation between the stunt side of your brand.
Yeah.
And, like the building and you have a multifaceted kind of operation going on here.
Yeah.
That, it all kind of, I would ask you this. It's like, I would love to just do a podcast only, right? Like, I just wake up every day and think about how to make a good podcast, edit it down, just make it so polished, right? But I'm scared if I don't do the things that I do, then I'm not the guy on this side of it doing a podcast that has any relevancy to talk to anybody. So by continuing to be a guy that rides or paints or whatever the fuck it is, it honestly, I feel like it, and this is just my fucked up mind, it like gives me the right to sit across the table from somebody else who is doing something rad as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yes.
So I wonder,
do I
like,
need to be stunt riding at 46 years old?
That was going to be I was going to segue, but good transition there, bud. So I have a handful of friends in the stunt world that I've known for years. Sit Down Steve, Tony.
He's my age.
Yeah, and Sit Down Steve and we did a podcast this summer, but it was so fueled with Dos Equis and Sit Down Stevery.
Oh, you need to drop that.
I might have to do it somewhere else, but it's just like
Patreon.
Yeah, somewhere, yeah. But he kind of retired this year, and now he's working at a Harley dealership, and he's got such a fucking great personality that he's doing well. I think he needs to be in charge of marketing for this entire brand, this particular group of dealership he works for. But
if they put him in a marketing role, it'd be
he's
huge.
so good at it, right?
Yeah.
But he was talking to me, and I don't want to put this out there without saying like I'm not for sure, but he was saying like guys like Seabear is wanting to step out of like certain aspects of it. You know what I mean? So I wonder how, with the stunt culture in general and an ignorant perspective like mine, how do you like justify the amount of lawlessness,
physical abuse,
the lack of any kind of real, not that people don't want to support it or brands don't want to support it, but it's like it's promoting something that's technically illegal through the channels that people need to see it. So it's like,
you put any stunt riding on YouTube, you're instantly demonetized. It's you can't stunt ride in a video on YouTube, it gets demonetized. Like all of our actual stunt riding videos do terrible. So, but that's who we are, and that's what we do. And we're never. That's another thing. 46, titanium neck, broken shit all over me, and I'm in pain 24 hours a day. Am I going to stop stunt riding? Probably not, because that's ego. That's purely my. Yeah. Can I step away from this? Why these guys are still doing it?
Yeah. All right, LeBron.
That's. I mean, that's how do you? It's the same thing. I step away from the motorcycle industry. How do I do that? How do I just quit stunt riding and just go be normal guy over here?
Which, the way is kind of what we've been doing this last year is putting on competitions or putting shows together.
Yeah.
Because to your point of like
paying back to the community.
Yeah. And like to your point of getting brands behind it and stuff like that, nobody's going to jump behind a community that just breaks the law all the time. You know what I mean?
Like the street riding and the terrorizing the streets like an asshole. Like, we're not.
Like I get it. That's fun. It's not going to go away. But like, I'd like to get it like a street, like skateboarding. You know what I mean?
Street jam.
Yeah, what do they call it? SLS. I forgot what it stands for. There you go. Yeah. Street league. You give it a place for it to flourish instead of it being in the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the streets are just doing nothing but giving it a bad name.
Making us look like assholes, really.
Yeah, dude. They're like swerving at cars and doing all that kind of dickhead shit. That really, like the biker thing's always been about the outlaw thing and everything else, but that doesn't make any money for anyone, including the people doing it, the people behind it, the sponsors. Like no one wants to get behind you being an asshole. They want to get behind you being good at marketing. So like you can be a half-ass stunt rider and be really good at marketing, and you're going to go a hell of a lot farther than the guy who's 10 times better than you are. You know, like like coming back full circle around now. We sponsor stunt riders,
Yeah.
but very, very few, and only when there's a return. Like I track them, and I want to know what they're doing and what we're getting out of them, other than hashtag Kruesi Originals. Because there was a lot of times where we sponsored a lot of dudes, and all we would get was hashtag Kruesi Originals once in a while, and it was just costing us money, and it wasn't doing shit for us whatsoever. So now, here's what I expect. Here's what I want. Here's what I expect in return. And if you're doing that for us, then rock and roll. Center's only out of California. Mm-hmm. They have a serious return. Those dudes sell a lot of our parts.
Yeah,
they kill it. Andy 76 does really well for us.
Yep.
Corey Tazinski.
Corey, yeah, he's out here in Texas.
I butcher his last name every time. I'm sorry, Corey. He'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah,
I think he's one of the best there is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey goes out of his way, dude, to promote our stuff. And it's just really, he just did it to be a good dude, really, to start out. So we're like, well, shit, let's just start throwing stuff at Corey then, because he's producing. And when we are sponsored, everyone that sponsors this, I want analytics on what we're doing performance-wise from you.
It gives you an idea to know what you're doing, so you can change.
Yeah, I want to know that I'm producing. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know I'm producing. Like, we just had our budget meeting for our Bike Week event, and we got our first title sponsor coming in with a check for it, and they're like, "Oh, you're not excited about that?" I'm like, "Nah, dude. Like, yeah, we got a bunch of money to help promote this, but now that's just that's more on me. Now I got to perform that much more. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it like, hey, I got money. I got to perform more. I need to bring a return, because that's what people need to focus on, is being valuable instead of being a shithead.
Yeah.
Don't be a shithead. Be valuable.
For some people, it works.
Yeah.
Well, a bit of self-awareness and understanding of the greater good of the scene, whether it's the stunt scene, the bike scene, the bike culture of events like Sturgis or just events in general. Like one day you're trying to figure out how to sell a part and how to stay relevant in the world. The next day you're the weight of a whole industry is on your shoulders. And you're like, how do I do this? And there's no book. This industry is too young to have iterations of successful things, because we've only had a couple successful eras in custom motorcycles or just the Harley world in general through the last 50 years of, its existence in the, documented cultural thing, right? Mm-hmm. Well, aftermarket shit, not just Harley in general, right? Yeah. So you got these waves of custom bikes. You got the 70s chopper craze, the 80s fucking club craze, and then you got the fucking 90s of the whole thing blowing up and becoming billet choppers and your Yaffes and, every big name that we still kind of, toss their names around now was coming up. And then you get a Crash, and then you get big wheel baggers. Now you got fucking Kids on Dynas and Sons of Anarchy, and
it's the first time it's ever been a young man's game, though.
First, exactly,
100%.
Young men's, what people that didn't have an uncle that were riding a bike and they got the sauce early, they found it on their own accord.
There's never been 20-year-olds on Harleys like there is now. Mm-hmm. Ever. It's always been the retiree and the 40 over, and it's your dad's bike, Mm-hmm. But now for the first time, and I think that is mostly due to stunt riding.
Yes.
It's brought in all these moto kids, and it's brought a young man's game into it. And when you've got a 20-year-old customer, you've got a 60-year customer. Mm. When you've got a 60-year-old customer, you've got a 5-year customer. It's just different. No offense to you old boys out there, but it just you get someone that's young, and when you're in your 20s, you're very influential. You're also very, very fanatical about things that you're into. Mm-hmm. So a 20-year-old or let's say a 25-year-old guy that just got into Harleys and wants to build his Harley, that kid's going to build that Harley, whether he can afford it or not.
Yeah.
That bike's getting built. That shit's going to happen. I'm going to sell my soul and I'm going to build this motorcycle. When you're 50, you're going to go, I got to pay my bills. My kids need fucking braces, whatever, there's shit that you got to think about these things. But when you're 25, you don't give a fuck. I just got a credit card. Ooh, wait a second. You guys got Snap financing? Ring it up, dog. Yeah. I just got a stimulus check. Burn it. Yeah. Let's go. And they're great customers. And I think that I love how inspired and how fanatical the younger kids get about it too. They're not just into it. They are fucking breathing it.
You feel there's an aspect of it becomes who they are, a big self-identity or an identity.
It's a different kind of identity than it was before, too. What it is to be a biker isn't what it was 10 years ago.
Agreed.
Isn't what it was 20 years ago. It's a different thing now. It's not really about being fucking tough guy and putting your cut on and being a hardcore biker guy. It's more about a good time now and shredding and riding and riding.
Yeah.
It's definitely about, and not just going for a cruise. It's about getting down to business and guys trying to outride each other and the competitions and going back to the build-off competition. Like competition builds industry, you know, competition builds invention, and all these guys going out there and going against each other. Look at how many new parts have come out of the stunt riding world that don't even really, that can go all ways, that aren't really necessarily for stunt riding, but just from the abuse. All of our shit comes from stunt riding and beating the shit out of our bikes and needing ways to save them and stop them from breaking and things like
or
that.
Or save parts that are obsolete now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just little things like that.
Bring back the Dyna gas tank.
Bring back Dynas.
Man, you know how much money you guys could make if the Dyna gas tank,
repop gas tank,
if an early model Dyna gas tank and rear fender were still available?
Yeah.
They could just sell more
shit,
switchblade rear wheels.
Man.
Oh man. Yeah.
Dude, switchblade 13 spokes, like that stuff goes for so much money now. It's you can't get a Dyna gas tank. So somebody was trying to sell Tommy one for $1,100 the other day, and the top of it was caved in.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I mean, and that's legit. People are paying that. Like it's crazy. If you could, we'll just nobody repop gas tanks. Don't worry. Kruesi Originals already taken.
Don't worry about it.
Fill the void, man. Well, you know, so what do you think is like realistically, like the way the stunt world has kind of transpired, the way the current like home of it? Because realistically, it seems like from once again a very ignorant perspective, the outside looking in, it feels like the only people that are really making any money or doing anything is like Concrete Cowboys with this monster sponsorship and traveling the country. It's like that's what you see.
Very good at marketing.
Yeah.
So how do you see that going in with like? Do you have to find more, like, do you need to reach out to Red Bull? Like, I mean, is that the only people that are going to spend money in this like sector, if you will?
They've been reached out to. they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. It's just like any extreme sport though. Like you can be a really good freestyle motocross guy, but if you're not doing shit to get your name out there, it doesn't matter how good you are. Nowadays, it doesn't matter how good you are at something. It's about, you have to be good at it to start with, but you have to be able to market yourself.
Yeah.
And CJ, Concrete Cowboys, he's good at it.
Yeah.
He's got it dialed. They do it full time. It's their full time job, and they went that back to where we started. You know, it was all or nothing. Like they're going to make it at this, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Period. They're going to make it, and they made it, and they're killing it. There's a few others out there. King Tony.
I mean, King Tony's figured out a good way.
He's been doing it forever.
You know, Cinders Only has been doing it really. They came onto my radar a couple years back when I was hanging out with Sit Down Steve in Houston, and I saw Joey. First time I'd ever seen it, which like I said, very outside, just keeping a track on, okay, what's going on? Like, I grew up in the sport bike world. I saw the kind of stunts that were taking place, 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like aware of when certain stunts become like acquired through Harley Davidsons, right? Mm-hmm. And so I saw Joey, the first time I ever saw him when I was at this event, I was shooting it, and I saw him do a circle wheelie on his bike. Yeah. And I'm like,
no handbrake, by the way.
Sit down circle wheelie.
Sit down circle wheel with a hand drag. And I was like,
when he used to like drag them in and
I got a couple shots of it. And
he hasn't been able to do that in a very long time. By the way, Joey.
But I mean, I kind of knew the complications of a hand drag, and I knew obviously the complications of a circle wheelie. It's not a lot of like pulling. Jason Pullen had kind of done some, but it was never quite.
I hear that turbo. Yeah, I hear that.
Got that Dwayne on.
Joey was one of the first ones in the Harley stunt riding world to really start getting a paycheck.
Yeah,
from sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the first ones. He's really good at like building marketing decks and like reaching out to these people and getting people to pay him to do what he's doing. And he was doing it way before like Concrete Cowboys or any of them dudes were. I've known Joey since he was 17. I rode a stunt show with him. It was Dirty, Holden, Tallboy, Dom,
Gino.
No, Gino wasn't even around then. This was a long time ago. This was like 2015 in Salt Lake City with Max from Ride and Destroy. Before it was Ride and Destroy, before the Brawl, all that shit. We did the very first at Salt Lake Harley Davidson, and there's another Harley Davidson dealership there. Me and Tallboy and Dom went on a van tour for like 2 weeks in this van, and then we went up there and we did these shows, and that's where we all met each other at that time. I have a picture up, a group picture of all of us together back then.
Yeah,
bunch of kids. Just me, I was like.
In your 30s,
35 or something, but just a bunch of kids, and Joey he just he just pushed. He pushed at it hard. He had a lot of support from his parents and stuff,
Yeah.
and he had a good support group. And he just went after selling himself and selling what he was doing, and he's done very, very well. You know, like they have the shop, but Dirty basically, I think Dirty's the shop. You know, and Joey's like we make shows happen and do all that stuff. Which we've been doing a lot with them. We're gonna do a lot more with them. I love those guys. Talented, very
it's good to like find people to connect with and build bigger communities. Like it, 100% rising tide floats all ships. So if everybody's working together and supporting each other and trying to bring people into certain opportunities, it like gives people, it's better for everything, right? And which is a good segue into like what we were kind of like kicking off our catching up on with like Sturgis.
Yeah,
you know, like Sturgis is it's the mecca of motorcycle events, and I love it for so many different reasons. But it's still, in my opinion, there's this thing going on in Sturgis where you have these very old ways of operation. That's just been the way it's how Granddad did it. This is how Dad does it. This is how I do it.
Yeah,
and there's certain people that can afford that world. Like there's certain people that can afford to go.
It's
put
operations from like 1998.
It doesn't,
not even the OG shit.
Yes.
Like it changed in the late 90s and turned into kind of like Tommy Bahama sort of operation. You know what I mean? I don't even know where to go with that without sounding like a super dick, but it went from like throwing dynamite sticks in the park and crazy shit to, in the 90s, it made this turn where it became more of like Dr. Bob and Dolores and things, you know, like.
It went mainstream.
Yes. But
I mean,
Biker Build Off did a lot of that too, and very mainstream.
It brought,
So
It brought it to people that don't even ride motorcycles. Like people that don't know anything about motorcycles know what Sturgis is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
But
Sturgis caters. Sturgis is fully catered for the 50-year-old retired guy who's got his bike out for the weekend
on the trike.
So that brings me to this point. You said it a while ago. It's like the 60-year-old that has 5 years left. You know, it sounds fucked up to say that way, but
5
like
years left of riding,
that's being a viable player in this game. If you're still accommodating him and not accommodating the 20-year-old, it's like they need to revamp how they do it, and it can't always be this money grab. Like, dude, industries come and go. Like, it goes up and down. Like, if you think that it's always going to be a potential, like Sturgis is not a fucking corporation, right? You don't have shareholders. Like, shit's going to get tough if you don't start opening up the door to let the younger generation have an existence there. Otherwise, they're going to fucking figure out another spot in Gillette, Wyoming and be a new Sturgis. And they have YouTube behind them and fucking podcasts. And now we're talking about Fox News and goddamn CNN right now, right? So it's like.
Yeah, we're working on that.
That's the thing. It's like you have to, like, they have to, I mean, this is an age-old conversation about just, you know, the dad needs to retire and let the kid have it or whatever to be modernized to, you know, and they don't want to let go.
The dad doesn't want to let go.
You know,
and the kid's
like,
not quite ready. But
it's just a lot. And Sturgis, I fucking love the event. I love so much of the history about it, but I don't even know how. I know plenty of ways how to kind of start doing things. I don't know how to give certain companies involved the return they want because they need to be investing now for a return later.
Most of them want the return immediately, and they don't want to play the long game. The long game is the thing. Like, you got to build. You can't go, okay, we're going to turn this into a 25 or a 20 to 30-year-old venue right here, and we're going to bring in all the young people this year. That's not how it works. Like, this year is only to build some media to market for next year, to hopefully have enough people to actually have real marketing potential to market for the year after that. You know, like, it's you got to put some water in the river to make that thing flow, and it's hard to get a lot of the venues out there behind it because it's expensive.
Yes,
and a lot of them I think aren't making the money that people think they're making. You know, like a lot of people have a misconception of. You go to motorcycle events like stunt shows that we do, stunt comps. Let's talk about stunt competitions for a second.
Let's go.
So people have this misconception that stunt competitions are these big, huge money makers, and we're making all this money from all these sponsors, and all these guys are only winning because the sponsors paid all this money and all this and everything. I'll tell you how much money sponsors pay for stunt competitions. $0 fucking dollars. They don't pay us to do any of that shit. You bring sponsors in. So Bike Week, the event we put on last year, cost us $59,000 to put that event on. We made $62,000. So we walked away with $3,000 when it was all said and done. That was for 6 months worth of work. $3,000 for 6 months worth of work isn't a really good return. So basically, you don't make any money off of putting comps on. You put comps on to help grow your brand. You put comps on to bring a venue to keep this whole community alive
Grow
and
the
keep
sport.
stunt riding
Yeah,
alive,
grow
because
the
there
sport.
is no place for these guys. Most of these dudes don't have a way to get in front of people and to ride shows and do all that. So you put comps on so they can do that kind of stuff. And then they get all up in arms because maybe they didn't win because they didn't deserve to. And then they go talking shit about how, well, you know, he's sponsored by this and the sponsors are paying money. So it's just about who wins because of sponsor. It's not. There is no, venues aren't making these big dollars. Like, you have to bring in a shitload of sponsors just to be able to pay for the venue, because you're not making any money off selling tickets. Like, you're not making any money off people coming and watching or anything. And it's more for the love of the game. And I think that it's like Thunderdome. Those guys don't have any money. It's not like they can just pay a bunch of money to do anything. They can't even afford to pay us to come out and do a stunt show. You know, like, it's not the type of money everybody thinks it is in this environment.
It's
Like,
not as lucrative as Instagram makes it seem.
no, a lot of
Like it's-
a lot of people do it because it's the love of the nature, and it's how do you step away from it? It goes all back to being in the bike game or being a stunt rider. How do you step once you've done an event? How do you step away from being an event promoter? You know, like, now that
When
I've
you
got
play
that
football,
taste-
why are you not in the booth now talking about football? Like, it's hard to walk away from this thing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So how can I still be involved?
whether,
right?
whether you're making money or not, and you know, it's crazy expensive. Like, we're looking at our bike week event this coming year that we're doing for and bike week in Arizona. We haven't even we're just putting the first plans together right now. It's $100,000 already just to start it off. And say we sell capacity.
Yeah.
That's not going to cover half of that. You know, so it's not what they think it is. And sponsors, most of the sponsors that come in and cover this stuff aren't motorcycle parts companies, because most of this motorcycle parts companies are just like us. They don't have the money to do that.
Yeah.
Like, Legends isn't paying us $10,000. They're not paying us $10
Yeah.
to make sure somebody wins, because they don't have that kind of budget. They're a small business. Most of every single aftermarket company out there for Harley Davidson world is a small business just like us. And it's just a delusion of social media, I believe, that everybody thinks that there's all this big money and all these big sponsors. This isn't fucking football. This isn't golf. This is Harley stunt riding that most people don't give a shit about. You know, like, y'all need to step back in reality. Nobody gives a fuck that you ride a wheelie on a Harley Davidson except for you and your 5 buddies.
It's
you know?
not
Like,
as big as like Instagram. Like, you know, like my Instagram, for example, everything on my page is nothing but Harley stunt riding. So in my world, it's like, that's all there is.
Yeah.
And that's probably every stunt rider's Instagram. You know what I mean? But outside of your Instagram, nobody gives a shit about this.
Yeah.
You know, like, nobody cares about
It's
you
really-
riding a wheelie on a motorcycle. They don't care that it's a Harley.
It's a small community, and
Like-
you'll get all the people, like, when you do some crazy shit, and you'll get the big video blow ups and stuff like that. But reality is,
Well, I mean, the people that are watching it's going to skyrocket that video into a viral status are the casual guys. They're also going to watch a cat video or a fucking, you know.
Dudes are just scrolling after work.
Oh,
or-
shit. Wow.
the whatever else.
Yeah.
The viral guy that has the big following has zero traction. You know, like, traction rate is
Followers
how many
versus
views
following.
Yeah,
it's the views per followers. You know, like, our traction rate is higher than most people with 10 times the following of ours. That's, I think, why we do well, because our fan base watches our shit. You know, they're on top of it, where most of them are.
I'm going to have to
clickbait
hire
or-
him to be my marketing guy.
Dude.
or traction shit.
I think I found your next career, dude.
If I left this, marketing would be the only other thing I do. I enjoy the shit out of it. Honestly.
It is fun.
It's like a
You like
game.
numbers though, and it's playing with numbers.
I mean,
Yeah.
think about that. Like, I understand your why you like that. You have something in you that's obvious through, like, you have a love for stunt riding, you have a love for this, so you want to bring people together, you want to help everybody else that also loves it, right?
Yeah.
So marketing for you is like, you want to give people value. Like, when you really love marketing, it's like I do too. I want to give people value. I want to bring people that want this and show people cool shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very intoxicating feeling of, like, trying to, like, push stuff. You know what I'm saying? We kind of glossed over Sturgis a little bit, but I think we should probably go in because I like the guys at American Spins. They're good dudes.
Yeah.
And
Man,
so
they're
I'd love
building
to-
some sick shit too, man.
I forget the dude's name, the Mexican guy.
Fernando.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing designer. Like what he does.
Yeah.
He's so
Dude,
good.
so that shit, I didn't know he owns Vertical Cycles. And I knew a little bit about him, but they are building some sick shit.
Yeah.
You see the motor mount setup for baggers they built?
Mm-mm.
It's full billet.
Fucking ridiculous. Adjustable alignment, all that shit with like polyurethane bushings.
I went there to like kind of do some consulting for them when they were trying to like switch over. We'll keep this off. Switch over from, they're a huge big wheel bagger company, right? And they were trying to go and kind of market into the performance scene. And I just told them, like, look, you guys need to pull a Saddleman, change your logo, and you're now the new brand. Like, it's not connected to big wheel baggers.
That's why they're American Suspension Racing, which I just had to talk with them. They need to change that because
They just need
that's too many words. It's just AS Racing now.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And a new logo will kind of help bring you into a new modern era. I mean, logos have to change every once in a while just to kind of keep up with the times.
We did that. We rebranded when we started the YouTube. Our original logo was like a silhouette of me riding a wheelie, and then it said Kruesi Originals off it, which basically pigeonholed us as a wheelie only company. And all these people were like coming to us like, "Well, I don't ride wheelies." I'm like, "Well, no shit, man. That doesn't mean I know how to work on your motorcycle." But yeah, so with American Suspension, as far as like an ROI goes, and wanting to know tracking, when we met with them. Russ is the guy that's running American Suspension, the racing side of things. I was like, all right, dude, well, I'm going to check in with you in a couple months. I go, I want analytics on your Instagram, everything else, traction rate that you're getting, all that. He was like, huh, all right. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then within, I think they posted a reel and I put it in our stories and their Instagram went up 11% that day. I was like, that feels good.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want. I want to know that the effort I'm putting in to promote someone is creating value for that person. And I'm not just talking out my ass, like I want to know that we bring some shit to the table. And then I can go, well, since that's what we've done for you.
Is the audience that's like taking over the space of like watching and listening to things? Are they just not interested in this type of shit?
Am I
anymore?
not staying relevant?
Is it a relevancy thing? You know what I mean?
You got to stay with what's going on. And I think when you're held accountable for something, it makes you a lot more motivated to be successful at that thing. Like if I was taking on a sponsorship and that was that, I just got a free set of shocks and left it at that, then why would I why do anything else? Like it's not. So when I say I get a free set of shocks, it's not like I get a free set of shocks. I get a set of shocks for a shitload of work and a lot of marketing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I sell them 50 sets of shocks through that marketing. So our companies that we work with, they get a huge return.
Yeah.
Elite Mototech had to buy 3 more CNC machines to keep up with our orders. Like our shit sells, our website sells, we push parts, we make companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's, and I think the reason I can comfortably ask for analytics is because I know we're going to produce.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to make something happen, and I want them to know that we're making something happen for them. We just had our Law Tigers set up our annual like budget meeting for next year and everything else, and Jay, our rep there, our sponsor, he's on it. He's like the one that's kind of brought me into this type of shit because he keeps hard analytics on us. He's like, all right, man, going over the stuff, you've brought in $3.7 million for Law Tigers in the last 2 years. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, you brought us 12 cases, which made us $3.7 million. And I went, all right, well,
can I get more than $800?
So let's talk about 2025, dog. And then, and they're on board. Like Law Tigers has been a fantastic partnership for us, man. And Jay Connor he's the dude.
He's the man.
He's brought so much to us, and we've brought so much to them, like $3.7 million. But at the same time, he's done a ton to boost our career. Most of these shows and all these events and all this stuff that we're doing is because of Law Tigers. Law Tigers goes into these events, they get hit up to be sponsors and like, okay, we'll do that, but this is what we want. We want Kruesi Originals there.
So that's a good partnership.
Yeah.
It's not like a one-sided partnership where it's like, hey, you go fucking dance out there and then we'll show you what you did for us. Like it's a symbiotic relationship, which is kind of like a modern way of the way brands should work together. It shouldn't be this one-sided thing where, like you said, like, hey, I'm going to give you a set of levers and you go make lever content for me. As opposed to, I'm going to give you a set of levers, go do your thing. But we also want to fucking show the world that you are the kind of people we fuck with, right?
Yep.
It's marketing 101 again, and maybe not so much a new way of marketing, but like it's a beneficial thing for both people. Like you don't have to, like my relationship with Simpson has been that way for the last 7 years. They promoted me as much as I promoted them. It was we were a family thing.
What Law Tigers
does
is how they do it is genius. Is they promote us, but by promoting us, they're using our promotion to promote them. You know, like they bring us on the news all the time, and we do a bunch of stuff with like,
dude, you're on the news.
Yeah, in Phoenix, we're on local news a lot.
You got to do like one of those, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Oh
yeah, everybody.
Local radio and everything. They bring us on there to promote us and what we're doing, but it's always brought to you by Law Tigers. You know, Law Tigers is here bringing Kruesi Originals. Law Tigers, you know, and it's almost like a way of marketing yourself without marketing yourself, you know, and it's fucking genius looking at it, really. And those guys, they're absolutely killing it. And plus Dave, our mechanic that got smoked in that wreck, they made him a millionaire. You know, like
nice.
You get in a wreck, you get hit by somebody on a bike, you call Law Tigers.
Call Law Tigers before your insurance.
Yes.
Right. So if you guys want that to stay in this podcast, call your boy.
That's right. Law Tigers called Jace. His Venmo is. But yeah, it's good stuff. And they've done a lot of stuff for us. It's been a really, really good partnership, and we're gonna do some big shit. 25. There's big things coming from Kruesi Originals.
Well, it's really important that, like, I think you've been kind of iterating this throughout this podcast about. It's not about trying to be sponsored. Like, that doesn't mean anything these days. It's about creating relationships and co-working together to build the whole fucking platform up to where there's opportunity for everybody. Not there was a point in time where you could just say, hey, look, I need that Bassani exhaust. I'm gonna go do some wheelies and there's gonna be content. And then, you know, this crosses that out. We're fucking even thing, right? But this is just not the way the marketing and the way the world works anymore.
You don't need a sponsor. You need a partnership.
Partnerships, yes.
So you should be working together to both make money. You know, it's not like just give me things, and I'm going to go do stunt riding shit like that. Like, that does nothing for you. If it wasn't for the sponsorship and the partnerships that we have, we wouldn't be able to build the bikes that we do. Like, I can't afford to build that fucking bike down there. We got 50 grand in parts on that thing. You know, like, that's a lot of help from our partners and things like that.
But if you didn't run those parts, how many people would never really know, like, an outside unbiased opinion for the most part? I mean, to be fair, you know, maybe the Trace is talking right now, but like whenever I run a product that I have a problem with, I don't just blast it. I go to the company. Hey, look, this is what I'm dealing with. Explain this to me, how this works. Am I doing something wrong before I say some ignorant shit online? Yeah. Oh, no, this is right. Oh, there's a problem we need to fix. We're going to take care of that.
Yeah.
You don't want to, like, it's kind of bad publicity because most people only watch headlines or thumbnails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to put any kind of negativity out there because it's just that. But if they fix the problem and now you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you still want, like, 100%. On a podcast I would talk about, but I'm not going to go make a YouTube video and go, here's the deal. It was garbage.
Yeah.
And try to, like, do this redeeming fucking, like, they came and fixed their life thing, like, which is not the case. Like, they had, maybe something was off a little bit or whatever, you know?
Yeah, give them the chance. Every company that comes to us and wants to, like, send us parts to, like, use and stuff like that, I'm always, like, straight up. I'm like, I'm down. I'll try out your stuff, but send me a quality part. Like,
yeah, if
you're gonna send me something that's gonna be shit, like, I'm not gonna do with it. Like,
do y'all get those, like, insane amount of emails from, like, the most random fucking people in the world? Like, hey, look, dude, we have lotion that all we want is one YouTube video,
silver jewelry.
Exactly.
Yeah,
dude, the fucking emails for like. And I'm like, who fucking clicks on this shit? It's like some goddamn Nigerian prince shit.
So, you know, on Instagram, you can do, what's it called? So, like, on a business page, you can do, like, we'll have your messages. You know, you got general,
primary,
blah, blah, blah. And then you have the fucking
the
people
requested
that want to sponsor you.
Oh, yeah. It's I know what you're talking about. It's
partnership, whatever.
Partnerships, yeah, something like that.
So, dude, we get the weirdest shit on there. That's like, we love your page. We want to send you this, this, and this. I'm just like, dude, I'm not into, like, stainless steel jewelry and leather pants.
What do you think is an outside the motorcycle industry product that if it came to our world, we made it, like Manscaped,
dude,
or something
I want
like
that fucking Old Spice sponsorship,
dude. That'd be sick. You could be I could see an Old Spice.
You know.
Gillette.
Didn't think I needed Old Spice. Stupid. But yeah, Folgers. Come on, bring it on.
Something. Yeah.
Folgers. It's not my first choice, but it's affordable. I sell some shit.
Far cry from quail tits.
Yeah. Oh, man, some quail
the
tits.
old quail
man.
tits.
Quail tits is probably the worst coffee in the game, but
No, it's good, dude. I mean, it doesn't. It
the
doesn't.
crack in your voice explained how good it is.
Yeah.
Right there. No,
It's available. It's
not,
affordable.
It's not my first choice, but it's available.
Yeah.
That's it. There's a quail tits. every
It's on the
corner
way
of
to
Phoenix.
work. It's there when you need it.
The fat girl at the end of the party, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, if you ain't rode one, you ain't lived.
Yeah.
Amen.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, it was
Good time.
I don't even know where we left off there. It went on.
Law Tigers.
Yeah.
Anyway, Law Tigers.
Law Tigers.
Yeah.
One more. Yep, that's how you do it.
So, I mean, obviously, a lot of opportunities to come you guys away from the things that you have built through YouTube, your brand, the stunt shows, everything. You kind of started talking about this before I had to go piss a while ago, but like, what the fuck's going on in Arizona with Arizona Bike Week? It's a shit show, and I feel like you guys. I don't want to put anything in your mouth. What's going on that you could talk about that I can't? I don't have to cut out later on.
Well, I mean, I don't. We have already gotten threats from them, so.
But you changed some verbiage though, and it kind of made it
Yeah.
like,
So they own Arizona
Bike
Bike Week. They own the wordage of Arizona Bike Week. So we got some threats about that, and I said, I know that we own Bike Week. Blah, blah. And I said, I know that you own the words Arizona Bike Week. That's why I've never used them. I don't support Arizona Bike Week. I support Bike Week in Arizona. And I've also got a dick that you can suck. But so you know what? Fuck him. Here we go.
yeah.
It is. That used to be one of the greatest bike events on the planet.
Yeah.
Arizona Bike Week was like a fucking carnival. I bungee jumped for the first time there. There was so much sick shit to do there, man. It was amazing. It was so fucking awesome. It was huge. There'd be 200,000 people there. Every builder there was in their big semi trucks. King Tony did the stunt show.
Yeah.
Me and Tallboy were involved with that for years. It was fucking amazing. And then in 2016, that was the last good year. New management took over. It's a group of women. They don't ride. They don't do shit with the motorcycle community. And they've just absolutely destroyed it. It is a parking lot full of knickknacks and bullshit, and it's very expensive. And we approached them to do some stunt shows. Actually, I think they reached out to us through Law Tigers to ride stunt shows. And I would love to do that. I've always wanted to have the stunt show at Bike Week. It's hometown. We're the fucking hometown stunt guys.
Yeah.
That's our town. That's everything else. So they hit us with, we will allow you to do your little stunt show at our event. You have to do, this is exact words, your little stunt show at our event. We need 5 days, 4 shows a day, 4 riders, and we will give you a shout out on the oldies station. You need to pay for insurance, pay for all the riders. That's $4,000 a day in rider fees alone. That's about $10,000 in insurance. So we're supposed to pay for all that so we can be allowed to do our little stunt show there.
Yeah.
And they'll give us a shout out on the fucking oldies station.
K-Pud. Yeah.
So I replied with, thank you very much. We have a 150,000 square foot facility where we'll be putting on one of the largest events Bike Week has ever seen. I wish you the best of luck with your little show that you put on. And then we fucking crushed them. Their place was a ghost town. Our event was one of the biggest things Bike Week has seen. It was fucking massive and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I am solely motivated to crush them into the dirt. That's the only reason we're doing this event. This event cost us money out the ass. It's terrifying. It's a year-long amount of stress that's giving me fucking ulcers, but I am doing it to crush them.
Mm-hmm.
I will crush them. Yep.
Well,
I'm the nicest guy in the world, and I get along with everybody, but you fuck with me or disrespect me, I will fucking turn my life upside down to crush you.
This goes back to what I was talking about, how these things have operated forever on these kind of like payment schedules of like, look, Harley. Look here, Harley. I'm just saying.
I did that at a wedding one time when they were doing their vows. My phone's going, it won't stop. I'm like, oh, fuck. They stopped. They're all looking at me. I'm like, ah. I walked out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
Never talk to me again.
So what's going on, or what I think might, like, you have this guard. It's changing. Like, you have so many things that are changing, and the money is gonna come, but it has to come after you've established. You said it a great while ago. It's like a couple of years of creating it, marketing it better, and then now you start to see the return on your investment. And none of these people want to fucking do it because these rallies are gonna go. They're gonna like. There's some dude that used to fucking love motorcycles that put this thing on. Right? I hope. This is a dream scenario. I really love bikes. I want to fucking put on Rock Rally in Austin. I love it. It'd be so sick. And then they start doing it. It fucking feels like what anything you're doing, I've ever done, or anybody that loves motorcycles has ever done. Any kind of event. And then it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it becomes a job and then it becomes a fucking thing. And then you got money and then you got the build-off world goes on. You got fucking Camel cigarettes throwing $100,000 in the fucking mix. Like, oh shit, I'm rich now. And then you get older and you're like, I can't identify with these fucking YouTube kids anymore. And they fucking take it out and they hire fucking people to go do the job for them. And these events lose every fucking bit of credibility, sustainability, and purpose.
And loyalty to what built them.
But they have something that like we're connected to because like now we're getting to the point of our careers. We're like, okay, like I'm 42, you're 40 something, you're 31, getting there. It's like all the people, the guys that we were fucking idolizing building badass bikes are our age now. Or no, they were our age.
Yeah, we're their age.
We're their age. Yeah, there you go. And so like how did they have to claw and fight to be represented?
They came in at a different time.
There is that too. TV was backing them up,
but
like the TV stations and everything.
So like if it wasn't
someone
for biker
exploited them,
if it was
they didn't exploit themselves.
Biker build off, we wouldn't have known about Billy Lane and Paul Yaffe and stuff like that. Like I just spent the weekend in Mexico with Paul. First time I ever really hung out with him. Like huge fan. Paul Yaffe Originals is Kruesi Originals. Like I ripped my name off from him. I was a fan. I loved his style. And I've known him for years, but just we knew each other. Like, hey, Paul, my Ryan, but we never spent any time together. And I didn't really know what kind of guy he was because you look at those dudes like your idols. They're
kind of media trained a little bit.
Yeah, but you have this already built perception of what they are, and you don't think they're going to be like that cool or anything. Motherfucker's cool, man.
He is cool.
Paul's wild as shit. He parties. He's just a little older version of me. Like the dude talks a ton of shit to everybody. He's wild.
Quick. He's quick with it.
Fast,
he's
dude.
Oh yeah,
witty as shit.
Real
dude.
witty.
Real
awesome.
fucking quick. Real funny. Parties like an animal. Still at his age, like he was kicking all our asses. Still rides like a fucking animal. Like it was refreshing to like hang out with somebody like that. That I kind of just thought that he'd be kind of more like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Paul Yaffe.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, what's up, Kruesi? Let's do some shit. And I'm like, yeah, dude. And now we're gonna hang out, And it was
gave him an idea for a part.
Yeah, he's building parts for us.
Hell yeah.
It's super fucking cool and refreshing to meet those guys and meeting Billy. Like,
dude, that was
cool.
insane.
Man, that was fuck. I about cried when I met Billy. I'm not bullshitting. He had me them risers. I was like, I'm on camera. It's a big one, Elizabeth. Couldn't even. It was surreal, and he was so fucking cool, man. They're just us. They're just dudes, just normal fucking dudes that happen to be in the right place, and shit blew up for them. And Rook was, a lot of people had their issues with Jesse, but you just had to know where to keep Jesse, and he was fucking cool, man. Jesse did so much for me in the industry. Like he would literally go out of his way. He introduced me to anyone and everyone in the industry he could to try and help me build my career.
Yeah.
Like he did a lot of stuff for me. John Shope, Dirty Bird Concepts. John can be a total asshole, but John has done more for me than anyone else in the industry. When I quit NASI and didn't have a job, John called me and goes, I heard you quit that cocksucker. And I went, yeah, I did. He goes, cool. Where do you want to work? I got 2 jobs for you right now. Pick one. And I went, fuck, all right. And he had me 2 fucking jobs by the end of the day in the industry. And he's literally, John is give you the shirt off his back.
Yeah.
He'll call you names while he's doing it. But he's just a good dude. And a lot of these dudes that you meet, they're just normal people. And I think when people meet us too, they trip out and they're like, oh, you're just like you are on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, we're just normal fucking people, And
yeah. Everyone you named, like they're not, they didn't think of themselves as too big for you. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
never.
Like Rook would come into the shop and like hang out, like talk to me. You know,
That's gonna be
like,
wild.
Yeah, dude. He
And
was.
this is when
he
we
was
were in
cool.
our old shop was the size of this room.
Like 700 square foot little
you know,
shop. You know, I put a thumb throttle on my Dyna, and Rook was like, "Dude, how did you do that? What is this? Why'd you do?" You know, like he was just like interested. And I was like, "Damn, this dude's rad."
I used to build all the suspension
Well,
for his bikes.
I guess the scary thing is when, you know, maybe not so much your generation, but maybe like the 25-year-olds right now.
Mhm.
There's so many things about the custom motorcycle industry that is just so, you have to search for it. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
It's not like it's gonna pop up on fucking Instagram.
Damn it, Harley Davidson.
It's not gonna pop up
too.
on like Netflix one day. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you
No,
don't,
yeah,
you don't
I think-
have that. You don't have that no more. Like you have to literally. So
You have to get it through social
doing
media.
doing shows and rallies doesn't really have the dividends that it once did. You know,
Yeah.
because of social media, and you can build so much more than Instagram and YouTube. But if you don't go to those shows, you're not going to catch that one guy that just showed up there and has never heard of you before. You know, like that guy that was just like. That went to a motorcycle rally with his buddy and then just saw you go blazing by on a 200 horsepower bagger sideways with a bunch of smoke. And he's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that dude's a fan. And all of a sudden that dude just sold his fucking WRX to buy a fucking 2002 Dyna. You know, like you sold your WRX to buy a Dyna. Didn't you?
He had a WRX though.
So did I. I sold it, bought a
Well, think
motorcycle.
about it like this. As much as it's complicated, we're kind of talking about like these old guards of like Sturgis and Arizona Bike Week, and how do we fucking euthanize or not? That's the wrong word.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, Jace. Yeah.
Euthanize could be like in my idea. It
You
sounds
Justify
like a
it. Let's see.
Yeah,
Justify
I know what you're feeling. I know what you're feeling. And I think I would use that word the same way too. But hell,
Wow.
euthany?
I don't know what the fucking word is. Bring some life.
How do we
not take the life?
How do we younginize this?
Younginize. Yeah, that's a
young and eyes.
We're gonna
Younginize
start
it.
there.
Oh, euthanize. Euthanize. Okay.
What is it?
What
Is
did he
it-
say?
What is it
I
normally?
thought I said euthanize. Isn't that when you kill a dog or some shit?
Yeah, but you're trying to.
It's not youth and eyes when you kill a dog.
It's
Is it-
EU.
Euthanize.
That's another euthanize. But you're trying to just make stuff younger. That's it's not a real word.
I mean, you kill the fucking thing; it ain't getting any older.
Yeah. Well, well,
To your point,
Yes.
I'll try and save it.
More action.
thank you.
Well, so like you guys had TV shows, magazines, all that shit that's not around anymore. All the kids 25 and younger,
yeah.
all they have is social media. My generation was kind of like in the middle. It depends if like somebody my age had an older brother that showed him all the magazines and what to look.
This is
look
how
up
we
to.
used to jerk off.
Yeah. Well,
Easy Rider.
yeah. That kind of
Just
shit.
did.
You know what I mean? And then if they didn't have that older brother, it was kind of like, just finding your own way, kind of
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
did. But it's like, social media is driving everything right now. And that old style of finding things has gone by the wayside. Nobody's making magazines anymore.
It's why more people in the motorcycle industry need to create YouTube channels and stick with their YouTube channels.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because the
Jace.
more of us that are doing YouTube, I don't want to be the fucking only YouTube guy out there and own the YouTube and gatekeep the YouTube. That mentality is shit.
Yeah.
The more of us that are doing YouTube motorcycle stuff, the more motorcycle stuff grows on YouTube. We need to get everyone doing it. If every shop got on board and had a YouTube channel and it was just a normal thing, think of how big the whole fucking industry would be.
It would also be easier to explain what I do for work.
Man, that's,
So what do you do? I'm a mechanic.
yeah. I own a motorcycle shop. Like, oh, you've been staying busy, working on a lot of bikes. I'm like, that's not really what we do. And they're like,
I got it. My uncle has.
Here's the deal. Like I know that YouTube
work
has
on
a
my
stigma,
92
but have
Heritage?
you ever had to tell somebody, yeah, I do a podcast? You know how fucking everybody and their mom has a podcast
Oh, yeah.
about everything?
they're like,
Under
oh,
the
okay,
sun.
cool, right on.
Oh yeah, dude. My cousin has one too. I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess I'll go fuck myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't ever tell anybody I'm a YouTuber. That's never come to my mouth. It's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a YouTuber.
They
They're
kind of
like,
got to beat it out of me. Yeah.
right on. You want a loan, huh? Yeah, no, it's never. I
never say like I'm.
I just
I'm
say I own a motorcycle
yeah,
shop.
I own a motorcycle.
I'm in a
shop.
motorcycle.
We sell
Yeah.
parts.
I'm into.
Everybody always comes around. They're like, so I was busy. Shop been busy. I'm like,
Kinda.
no,
In
I
our
mean,
own
yeah,
way.
But I mean, we haven't taken a customer in 2 years.
We've
if
been
that makes
busy
sense.
though, but I mean, like we're busy.
we're busy. We're
Do you ever feel like
busier
you
than
want
I
to
wanna be.
explain that to try to understand it yourself? Like,
Yeah.
because realistically, I mean, a simple thing is like, yeah, we're busy as hell, dude. And it's like the end of the conversation, but you're in your head like, you know,
How am I busy?
how can I put this out there so I can have a conversation with myself about it? We're busy, but like, here's this weird thing that's going on. The dude's like, dude, I just wanted a fucking simple question. Like, are you busy or not? Like, I got to go.
Yeah.
Well,
It was like an impassive
wait.
question.
How do you explain that busy is? I went to the gym this morning. I came to the shop. We smoked a joint. We worked on some motorcycles. Then we sat on the couch and we watched some YouTube. And then we smoked a little more grass and we worked on some motorcycles again. And then maybe we rode mountain bikes and pit bikes. And that was a 6 to 7 hour day. You know, like
Solid.
you know, busy. But at the same time, I'm still like on this dirty son of a bitch, trying to make money all the time. So
that
it's
shit
like
never goes
we're
away.
busy in a way that people can't understand when you're in that just 9 to 5 working world. And I could never be that clock in at 9, get off at 5.
I think a
Which
lot of the
also
world's
at the
gonna
same
change
time,
that
it would
way.
be so
No,
nice to
100%.
just get off work at 5 o'clock and go do your own life. That would be cool.
Dude, I thought about getting like putting an application in AutoZone.
You could be that dude behind the counter, don't know shit.
Dude, if I got off at
What
3
year,
PM,
make, and model?
and I could just like that was a job that paid like enough of my bills, enough. Like I don't know if it's gonna pay all of them, but enough to where I'm like, all right, I can go home now and spend 4 hours painting or doing a podcast or whatever the fuck.
As a hobby.
Yeah, as a hobby.
Oh,
like,
God.
bro, like
Oh man.
God, remember when motorcycles were a hobby? like,
dude.
That's
man.
another thing that's hard to explain to everybody, dude. Yeah, like this is a lot of people's hobbies. This is our livelihood.
Yeah, let's go
It's
for a
like-
ride, brother. I'm like, I just rode all
Like,
week for
man,
work, man.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm cooked. But
Dude, I was in this is a weird thing popped up in my fucking deep of my imagination of my life. Before I met my wife, the one that I'm with, the current one, I was in a relationship with this chick for a long time, and I was in a bike club. I was a president of a club. I did the whole club world shit. And I remember I was kind of like trying to break up with her, and that she hit me with some like shit one day, like, you're at a fucking bike club. You know how fucking childish that is? And I was like, at the moment, not the grand scheme of it, I'm like, God damn, like she had this conversation with somebody before.
Oh, she's been talking to somebody about this.
yeah, to even have that revelation, though,
Like,
is oh
who
my
did
God.
you talk to about this?
Yeah,
with?
you've been talking.
You-
God damn.
this wasn't like you were fine last week, but this is a fucking 2-month-old conversation you had with somebody.
Yep.
That threw it in my face and it hurt.
I was,
And
in,
it,
I was in a motorcycle club for some years, and I don't know if it's childish. I don't know if that's the word.
Not that I'm trying to say, but like the point that she came up with it, and because I knew it was a premeditated fucking like insult, I was like, ouch, that hurt.
Yeah, you got me.
You didn't come
got
up with
me.
that on
Got
your
me.
own, but god damn it, that hurt.
This is also when Sons of Anarchy was hype.
Oh, yeah. When Sons of Anarchy was high, I was going to MMI, and I lived in this apartment complex that had a movie theater in it, and we had it rented for every Tuesday during the season. And every
times.
Tuesday, the
Good
whole
times.
theater would be full of every MMI student, Mark Matthews being one of them.
Yes.
We were there every time, and we had this game. Every time they said Sam Crow, everyone had to take a shot. So we'd buy like a half-gallon Jack Daniels, and we'd all be in there partying. They'd say Sam Crow 400 times in a fucking episode, you know. So it was a big party, and it was great, man. Those were such great times.
The drinking word and Sons of Anarchy as a fucking lifelong guy that's watched it 100 times. Yeah, okay. Every time they say yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. It should have been Jesus Christ. Whenever Jack says Jesus Christ, dude, that was
Jesus Christ.
that was a good one.
Yeah. I made it till they killed Opie and I was done, but and they
I
started
watched
shooting
it
like
all the way through.
They
Like,
started shooting mortars and landmines and shit at
Yeah.
people. I was like, man,
It's fucking Rambo, dude.
yeah.
I mean, one moment you're in the jungle just fighting people with regular guns. The next thing you know, you're fucking 80 years old, fucking Indian burning a dude to death and shit.
That was a great movie. When the Indian burning guys. John Jay. We just went to his birthplace.
That's
yesterday.
why I thought about Rambo a while ago.
Yeah. You ever been to Bowie, Arizona?
Fuck no, dude.
it's a gas station.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody else has either.
Do they have a sign up saying this is where Rambo was from?
They have a mural on the
there's
side of the
there's
gas
one,
station.
There's one
Oh.
weird ass gas station, and there's a full size mural of him painted on the side.
So me and my boys that we do this cross country trips every year. We kind of aligned ourselves with the Forrest Gump shit, right? We want to go ride our bikes to all the places Forrest Gump ran, right?
Yeah.
And there's a bunch. This is dudes walk it, run it, bicycle it, ride it on. Like it's a very
Is there like a
common thing.
route? Like,
when we started doing it, we had no idea. But as we've done it,
Greenbow and fucking go to the coast and
I think there's some of that, but there's points that were like highlighted through the movie, like little spots, right?
Yeah, Monument Valley,
somewhere in
Jersey.
Grandfather Mountain, Savannah, Georgia, fucking. So we went to the lighthouse in Maine. That was our whole point, to go to Maine, not Bar Harbor, which is known to party and be a good time, but like. And the craziest thing is, like, you had this fucking, like, 10 dudes show up on bikes, all with Texas plates, and we're like, and the ladies at the lighthouse, it's a fucking underwhelming lighthouse. It's like, it might as well be a fucking mag light out there. You know
Dude
what
with
I'm
a
saying?
flashlight.
Yeah. And she's like, what y'all come here for? I was like, Forrest Gump. She goes, really? Like, the way she said really is like, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I need more enthusiasm when I rode to fucking Maine right now, right? But that's kind of the concept of it.
Have you ever been to Madrid? Mexico?
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. The fucking
We were going to on the way here.
Yeah,
but
our plan was to stop there on the way, and we wanted to really bad, but it was like an extra 4 or 6 hours, and that was just unattainable in the weather we were riding in. But that's a place, Wild Hogs, if nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's where Wild Hogs, where it all went down. Madrid, that's the actual town. Like that shit is all still. You've been there?
Yeah, it's an old mining town. Me and the ex-girlfriend stayed on a hillside. And when we went to dinner, it's a restaurant in an old mine shaft, dude. It's pretty sick, but
yeah, they have like a welcome Wild Hogs fan signs and shit.
Don't they have
there?
like a chili festival and shit there too?
They have a chocolate, like,
give me a nice mild turkey chili. I'm in.
Where like Anthony Bourdain like ate chocolate on a TV show, and like that's like the biggest attraction there.
Really?
Anthony Bourdain bought chocolate from this chocolatier that's
in Madrid, New Mexico.
Madrid, New Mexico.
Well, I mean, it's also Wild Hogs. I mean, come on.
I don't know.
That's the most realistic biker movie that's ever been made.
Damn right.
100%.
I've been saying this forever. If
you want to know what it is to be a biker, Wild Hogs.
100%. That is the most of my customers identify with one of the 5 characters of Wild Hogs, maybe even the other one.
I identify with every one of them.
You know,
Yep.
If they made that movie as a drama, right, a new version of that, like, you know, like it's a drama, it's a little more serious subject matter. Maybe not so wild with the bike club shit. Like, get away from the bike club shit in the fucking movies, man. Like, you know, that's a very interesting thing, you know. But
it pigeonholes the whole.
It takes away the substance of riding motorcycles and what that could be for people. And if you attach it to the club world, not to talk shit, not to fucking be asshole about it, like just good motorcycle movie about what motorcycles can be for the soul of a person.
Yeah.
At 20 years, 40 years, 50 years, whatever the case may be.
That was the first biker movie that was like that was about guys that weren't in a club. They dealt with some club stuff, you know, with the Del Fuegos.
Del Fuegos kick your face.
Kick your ass into outer space. What was that go?
No, that was
Johnny Five? Yeah.
80s babies over here. Or he's 90. He's 70s, right? You're 70, right? 78?
78, yeah.
All right. I'm 82, so.
I was
But
there.
Short Circuit was a fucking 80s fucking.
Your mother was a snowblower. Fucking great movie, man. Los Locos kick your face. Los Locos kick your ass. Los Locos kick your balls into outer space. Yes, Los Locos. That was the gang that he hooked up with.
So it was like a robot, Johnny Five, that was like got loose on the streets, and he ended up becoming in a gang. They spray painted him and everything.
They just put a Mexican accent on him, and now
exactly.
he's in a gang.
He's got like tank tracks.
He's got a mohawk.
He was a war machine, dude. It was great.
Yeah, he was a war machine.
Yeah, it was great.
Gave him a Mexican accent. Now he's in a gang.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, who programmed you this way?
Fucking good movie. I need to watch that one again. If they're gonna remake some shit, that's something they should do.
Yeah.
But yes, back to Wild Hogs. Like that was the first time that someone portrayed, like, I would say what the biker community is now today is a lot of just normal guys riding motorcycles and enjoying motorcycles. You know, like that's back to you don't have to be Mr. Badass. Fucking, you don't have to be a tough guy to ride. Don't be a tough guy, be a fun guy. You know, like you don't have to be the tough guy to be on a bike anymore, to be on a Harley anymore. You can just be a guy that likes to fucking rip motorcycles and go rip motorcycles. And I think that's more what being a biker is today. Now is more about just being a dude that rides motorcycles.
Yeah.
Like I don't do meth.
Really?
No. I mean, if you want to be a real fucking biker, like I'm a biker, you need to get tuned up on a good bag of meth, you know, quit showering, fucking throw your bike in the pond for a little while, drag the thing out and go hit the fucking road, you know?
Yeah.
Beat your old lady from time to time.
Yeah, just a little slap.
That's real OG biker shit. But who's into that? Are you into that? I'm not into that. That doesn't sound like a good time to me. What sounds like a good time is like hanging out with my friends and doing things that are fun and enjoyable that everyone around me enjoys. Not
Talking
just
about how
us.
great my credit score is right now because of all the work I've done on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really
I got a
making sure my bill pay is really good.
Paying shit on time.
750 credit score right here,
Do
bud.
you guys think I need to fucking open another line of credit just to kind of build this side up? You
So
know?
let's look at that. Back when I was a real biker, I had a 440 credit score.
Like a fucking man, dude.
Goddamn right. I lived in a rental house and I didn't own a car. I just had a motorcycle and I was just going hard, which I would rather be present day biker
Yeah.
that owns a house or two and has his bills paid and I have good credit and I can afford to get on my bike and I can hit the road because my shit is together and I'm successful and I work hard, like that's what's changed.
So
It's
is that
more
not
about,
the same thing about like evolution of everything? Like whether it's like the kids that you produce and you grow and they carry on like characteristics of you and become a better version of you every year. Like as a product of the motorcycle world, like we take what we love and the nostalgic of what people have done before us, but we have to be a part of the modern world.
Yeah.
And we have to find a way to be a part of that and live within it, but also carry some values that are important. Maybe leave a couple of them out. You go back to the Easy Rider in 82. There's some ads for some shit.
I mean, I grew up with a stack of Easy Riders in the bathroom when I was a kid, like I took long shits. But but you can still be a thug, and be ambitious and be successful.
Yes.
Like you can still have that, little streetwise, little bit of hood in you, but it doesn't mean that you can't be striving to succeed and striving to better yourself and everyone around you. Like why push to build your own name when your friend is right here?
Mm-hmm.
Like why don't we all grow together? Because if we're all growing together, I'm having a lot more fun.
Yeah.
If I'm growing by myself, I'm fucking bored and lonely.
Well, that's the thing about motorcycles. It's the one thing that is, if you like segregate it down to the fucking nitty gritty of it, it's a very selfish thing for yourself. Like, this is my bike. I ride this bike. I'm the one that enjoys all the controls. I run this ship.
Yep.
I can have a chick on the back or a dude if you're into that. This is a non-binary. Is that the way you would? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that the way you would fucking
all inclusive?
It's an all-inclusive thing. If you want to put whatever you want on the back,
all exclusive.
So you ultimately what I'm trying to say is like this is a very selfish endeavor amongst all the other hobbies a man could have where his family could have more benefits of it, right?
It's an expression of yourself.
Exactly.
100%.
But
Like you buy a bike and you design that bike, and whether you're the one doing the work or not, that does not matter at all. You're still the one picking out the things that wants to be on there. You are making that bike you. Harley Davidson is also the only motorcycle you can realistically do that with. I mean, you can customize a sport bike, but come on.
Well,
dude.
put levers on it and
What do you do?
different tires.
You just made it look even.
Powder coat some shit.
I went to a sport bike night a couple weeks back.
Why, man?
I want to see what the fucking flavor was.
Was there lots of
Was there-
big speakers and maybe
No, it
some
was a
heads
bunch
or
of
what?
stock bikes, but dudes walking around in fucking race boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With holding their helmets.
The fluffy helmets.
They still fucking put
Dude.
fur on their helmet. Like,
Yep.
dude, that was a stunt thing back in
And
the
they
day.
walk around with it. They don't.
Yeah, it's like, dude, no, this is
Put
a
your
biker
fucking
bar.
helmet.
Everybody knows you're on a bike here.
Yeah.
This isn't
Leave your
fucking
helmet in the parking
Man,
lot.
if you walk in a restaurant with a helmet in Phoenix and you don't leave it on your bike, around us especially, you are going to get fucking hammered.
It's like, dude,
Yep.
What do you
Kids
got-
do it in bike
what's,
week all the time. Like, yo,
what-
why'd you bring that in?
what do you have there? It's my helmet. Man. I don't want somebody to steal it. I'm like, you think somebody wants to steal your sweaty fucking helmet? It's 102 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Nobody's putting that shit on but you.
Yeah.
Leave it outside. But in California,
was that
they
a
do
cold
steal people's
sore?
helmets.
Like, nobody wants that, dude.
Everybody saw you take that helmet off and saw the rash. Like, it's
Dude,
fine,
you're fucking
man.
good, dude.
That shit's staying right where it is. And I figure, like, if they steal my helmet, fuck it.
Thank
They
you for
can
your
have it.
service.
That didn't help. I messed it up over there.
Yeah, it's accommodations at Cowboy Harley, dude.
I don't know Cowboy Harley, but I know Tommy Donnelly.
Tommy's a good dude.
And Tommy was like, we had a deal some time back.
This is what happened. Can I interject?
Mhm.
You made a rant about a bike. No, you were buying a bike.
Mhm.
You made a fucking big ass rant online, and it got, I don't know, it sparked interest in a lot of fucking players.
It got a couple million views overnight.
Tommy hits me up and goes, "You know Ryan, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." I want to talk to him about this situation. I was like, and I hit you up. I'm like, "Hey, my man, he's in Milwaukee. He's a good dude. I don't know what else to say. He wants to talk to you." He said, "Send him over." fucking does. Next thing you know, bike deal's done. Figured out.
He called me at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The next day. Yeah, he's like, hey, this is Tommy. I got your number from Jace. He was talking about this. I see what happened. Because I got screwed over on a deal. Like, I'd made a deal with the dealership to buy. I wanted to buy a new Road Glide to build one for a series that we were going to do on YouTube. And it was basically, I'm like, we have a dealer license. We own a dealership, you know. So it was like, I want to do dealer to dealer transfer was the original plan, which they can't do that apparently. But I want to do like dealer to dealer transfer. All I want to do, I don't want to pay tax and I don't want to pay all your setup fees. I go, I'll pay full retail, but I don't want to spend all the bullshit on top of it. It was like 26 grand was like straight up retail deal. They're like, I met with the one owner. That's the deal. We're in. And he goes, and I'll give you $1,000 if you market it on Instagram and stuff. I was like, fucking deal. Shook hands, started the deal, did the post, did the Instagram post, all that shit. Sponsors already sent out parts. Saddleman already had a seat on the way. Legend suspension was on the way. All the shit was already on the way, right? So I think we had to go to an event or something. We were going to come back and supposed to pick the bike up. I come back and they're like, well, you know, the main guy come back and he was like, you know, blah, basically was like, fuck you, charge him full price, fuck that guy. And they raised my price $10,000.
Wow. Fuck the audacity.
After we had already posted it all over the world, the marketing had already started. And they basically let me run with the marketing to lock me in and then try and fucking burn me on 10 more grand.
Yeah.
So I put it out there on the internet and I said exactly word for word, this is exactly what happened. And Tommy was the first one that called me. So I turn my phone off when I go home. Like I shut that bitch off and I live my life, you know? So I turned my phone on at 5 in the morning. 5:30, I get my phone's ringing from Milwaukee. I'm like, the fuck? Who the fuck is calling me? I'm like, hello? He's like, yo, this is Tommy Donnelly from House of Harley. And I'm like, I know, so we talked and we made a little deal. And I was like, well, fuck, dude, amazing. And we made a fucking deal.
Yeah.
A real fucking deal for both of us, which I sold them so many motorcycles from that deal too.
100%. Yeah.
And then I got off the phone with Tommy. My phone rang again from some dudes in Florida, and then another Harley dealership and another dealership, and they were all trying to, California. Quaid hit me up. Everybody's hit me up like, dude, we'll sell you a bike at what it cost us. Just like that's fucked up. Blah blah blah. So Tommy sold us the bike, hooked it up really nice. We did a 2-year build series on that. We were selling several bikes a month, dude. We had people flying from around the country to go to Milwaukee Harley Davidson to buy motorcycles from these guys. Like it was profitable. And this fucking dealership that we originally did this with, if they just would have sold it to me at fucking retail.
By the way, is this dealership not like within 5 miles of your place?
It may or may not be. There's many. It may or not be.
But there's two owners. One owner is really, really on it, and he's awesome. And the other one is the one that was not having it.
And that place is a ghost town.
But now they also, we still do a lot of business with them, and
yeah, you're trying to like it.
It's a good place. They had just been burned by several influencers before. And when main dude came back, he was like, I'm not fucking dealing with these bike builder fucking YouTube guys anymore. Fuck this guy. You know, it was basically what happened.
I think, well, the worst part about it was how they tried to cover it on their end. They tried to say it was like,
yeah, they gave me just a bunch of like fucking lies. I'm like, dude, I've been doing this a long time. I have a dealer license as well. Like I'm educated. I know this shit, dude. I know what.
Well, that's the problem with the word influencers. Because when you tell someone who is from a different world that doesn't understand what value you provide and, oh, well, it's just an influencer on so-and-so. It's like, no. I'm a bike builder. I'm a fucking fabricator. I stunt ride. I'm a lot of things.
People don't take influencer serious, though.
They don't. Like, they take it as free shit for somebody that is.
Rook had taken them for a lot of money and didn't produce anything. Jesse was very, very good at getting money from people, but not so good at returning, you know? So that they had the bad taste in their mouth. But the main owner that we deal with, he knows what time it is. And he's on top of it. But the older guy, he's very business and, you know, like, well, we did this before and we got fucked. You already took me down this road and we got fucked. So we're not doing it again.
Yeah.
Which they should have, because I mean, we could talk to Tommy, but a lot of bikes went out of Milwaukee. You know how many bikes we sold for San Diego Harley Davidson? Mm-hmm. Hundreds. Like those dudes, and wow, man, I won't be working with them anymore either. But
well, the thing is, like, I mean, I've bought many bikes from Tommy over the years, and it's he's I'm trying to figure out the best way to like promote him outside of like doing a podcast with him, which we did last night.
He's one of us.
He is one of us, but he also understands like the thing about this. Like it's when he was in Milwaukee, like that was our hub. Like House of Harley, which there's still a lot of really awesome dudes at House of Harley, even though Tommy's left. A lot of good dudes.
We still do business with them.
Yeah, House of Harley's a fucking great place. They became the hub in Milwaukee. So all of a sudden, like, yeah, Mama Tried is the thing we want to go to. All of a sudden, homecoming rally, because we had this like little fucking like our own playground at the event where it's like all the performance motorcycle dudes can go party here because we know who you're with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it was a great thing to be in a place where it doesn't matter how long you've been in this industry. When you go to Milwaukee and you see the museum and you see the fucking spread and you see the fucking world of Harley Davidson, you're like, it belittles you. It humbles you is the best way to like put it.
Yeah.
You walk through the museum, you see the fucking lineage. You're like, fuck, dude, these dudes fucking like put sand together to make motors and shit. We're like over here trying to fucking figure out how to ream holes bigger to make them something fit. And like, we're complaining about dog shit, right? But it's like it's a very humbling experience for a motorcycle guy, right? And so, to me, like Tommy, he just gets it. He's always been a great dude, and when he came back here, it was easy for us to follow suit. And watching him take a new situation at Cowboy Harley and try to figure out how to make it a new home for us to all find what we're doing exactly this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was when we were putting out that we were looking for a venue to do this final. Tommy was the first one. He hit me up immediately. Yo, I'm in the middle. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like done. I'm not gonna talk to anybody else. Done.
It's easy, right?
Done nothing. Done nothing but good for us. I met him in Sturgis probably a year before we did that transaction originally, and I met him because he had a sick fucking ST. And we were doing a show, one of Jeff Holt's shows at
in Deadwood.
Right?
You mean the G bike?
Yeah.
The orange and white one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you paint that?
I mean, that guy over there did. He's over there.
Oh, fuck, I'm using that. Yes.
Like that?
Stealing that. All right, fucking now. If you guys see me do that shit, you know where it came from. I'm stealing
that guy right there, dude.
Oh, that's good.
Good.
But yeah, he that bike was sick, and we were doing this. We had the race bike there, and we were doing that show.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the bike, and he walks up and introduced himself. I was like, "This is a fucking sick bike, dude. You know, really well done." He's like, "Oh, Jace painted that." And I was like, "Oh, I know Jace." You know, we started talking, and then we met then.
Yeah,
you know, and then everything else happened from then, and it's just been good, dude. Like, there's a lot of in the industry. There's still a lot of those just real deal dudes out there. You know, like not just the corporate dick that they brought in from Progressive Insurance Company, or I used to manage a fucking Safeway or something, and now I'm managing this dealership. Like, there's a lot of the dudes that are still grassroots, you know, that work their way to the top, and they're just like that. There's a lot, I would say, a majority of that. Everybody like in industry guys like Mr. Matt sitting over there and Teo and stuff. When you know, also the misconception of what you think is running Harley Davidson, like you think it's a bunch of polo shirt wearing latte drinking motherfuckers, and then you meet Matt and Teo, and you're like, what the fuck? These dudes are just us. They're just dudes, fucking normal ass motorcycle dudes that show up. Teo came to the shop and met him, and I was like, man, that's not like, you're really like, that's what you do at Harley? Like,
well, I mean,
you got that kind of job.
If Harley was like, hey, you know what? You guys, if it'd be fun, like we should bring out to a board meeting. Like, really?
I know.
It's not gonna work.
That would be a good idea.
Oh man, could you imagine?
By the way,
it would be wild, but
I
I feel like if we were sitting at a Harley board meeting, it wouldn't be what we would think it would be. When talking to Teo on the phone and like everything, I'm thinking dude in a suit, uptight, fucking business kind of guy is what I'm gonna meet, you know. And then I talk to him, and he's just.
We were talking about it yesterday. It's like there's a 9:15 meeting for the 9 o'clock meeting or the 9:30 meeting, right?
Yeah.
The meeting before the meeting. We have those.
And then there's the meeting. Dude,
we have prep meetings before we have meetings.
That's the one thing my brand doesn't have is meetings, dude. I want meetings.
No, you don't.
You don't.
I have, dude.
You know how many fucking Zoom meetings? I have fucking Zoom meetings. Do I want to have fucking?
I envy
Could
that.
you imagine?
I envy
I got in the motorcycle world, so I wouldn't have to touch a computer. I never owned a computer in my life until we started YouTube, and I had to buy a computer and learn how to use a fucking computer. I'm not that guy.
In 2022.
Yeah,
or
dude, I
21,
I can't fucking type on a phone. Like, still that same way. I'm like, Trent, they're going, motherfucker. Breaking computers, losing my mind. I don't have that shit in me at all. And now I spend a majority of my time on a computer. I have Zoom meetings almost every single day. Meetings before meetings. Was that this week? I had a fucking, it was a Tuesday this week. I had a 9 o'clock prep meeting with Chris from Modded Culture for our Metro Mayhem shit. So we own a company together called Mayhem Productions that we put on these stunt comps.
Yeah.
So I had a prep meeting at 9:15 to 9:45. And then we had our that was a prep meeting for the meeting at 10. That was with Law Tigers and everybody else for the budgeting and shit. So it was like, you prep for, you have a meeting to prep for this meeting. And then when that meeting's done, then you get off the 10-person Zoom meeting, and then you have an independent meeting with every single person that was on there to talk about the different aspects of all the different things that happened. So, I mean, actually, the majority of that meeting was me trying to figure out how Jay had that cool fucking background in his fucking Zoom meeting.
Oh, yeah, that was the first 15 minutes. Jay, how'd you get that background? And then they had to walk him through how to put a background
I want a fucking background. This is cool. But yeah, it's for me, like where I come from in life and everything, for me to end up sitting at a desk having Zoom meetings with people like Matt, the fact that I have Zoom meetings with people like Matt from Harley Davidson blows my fucking mind. And we're having phone meetings and shit, and he's telling me like, oh, we're going to talk about this. And I'm just like,
Matt, can you set up meetings just for me?
is this guy,
me
for
personally.
one, I'm just like, is this guy
It's
talking?
not important.
Is this guy talking to me?
Just make up some shit, and I just like, hey, guys, I got a meeting with Harley today. It's at 9 p.m. or 9.
That's why you want meetties. You just want to have that, like,
important, dude.
hey, I got a meeting today.
So I'm in the shop, right? And the Cling Spore guy, you know, the abrasives dude comes in. He's like, hey, what do you need? I'm like, honestly, man, I can't deal with this right now. I have a meeting in 5 minutes.
Oh shit, that's a fucking flex.
You said that to him?
I had to.
Yeah.
I had a fucking meeting in 5 minutes.
Oh, dude.
And he's looking around our shop. You've been in our shop. It's bullshit. It's the size of this room, you know?
Where's it happening?
He's looking around. He's like, this motherfucker is running me out of his shop right now. He's like, oh, yeah?
He said, bitch, where?
So you're not making any money and you can't afford to buy any abrasives this month, huh? All right. Yeah, meeting. Right on, bro. See you later. And then he did. And then I had a fucking meeting. I had a meeting after a meeting. I had about 6 hours of meetings.
Man, I wish I could have heard you tell him that.
Preparing for Bike Week last year, I was on phone meetings for probably 6 hours a day for fucking 2 months. Every single day.
Have you got to fly a lot? You get flown around a lot?
Nope.
When I started, I had a stint of my life where I got flown to places a lot, and I felt so important.
The only time we've been flown anywhere is when Tommy Donnelly flew us out to do a podcast for you to talk about that bike.
Goddamn important.
Talk to you about that bike. And we're like, fuck, man, we're getting fucking flown out to Texas for the podcast. You believe this shit?
Yeah, that was a good time.
That was a damn good time. Oh, wait, we flew out to...
Are you still in the same shop?
Yeah, same spot. Yeah,
same spot. That spot's rad.
So, you guys and I flew Taylor out. Taylor's coming next week. I pick him up from the airport on Monday, and Gabe bought his own ticket. I'm picking him up at the airport as well.
Yeah.
Right. Until then, until Taylor, which y'all needed to like start a shit talk situation. Y'all are the first. Taylor's the second dude I've ever flown to do the podcast. Right. Mm-hmm. But when we did that, it was fucking awesome because like homies took off work to go eat barbecue with us during the day to hang out with us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude,
fuck.
That was a damn good day.
It was fucking great.
That was cool, dude. That was a beautiful time.
So
all the way around.
when
Thank you
Tulane-
once again. That was a fucking great time.
When you're at the podcast studio, it's about being immersed in this world of motorcycling. You know, you walk through the shop. There's an actual shop where actual work is done, but then you go upstairs and
very flossy podcast studio.
Dude, I'm just trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're passing them by. It's very, very
sick. That place is sick.
It's worth going to your shop just to go see it. If you got any like your podcast fans are out there, you should just go show up at Jace's shop and go check out.
Bang on the door, say Ryan Kruesi sent you.
Yeah, go, hey man, Kruesi said I should come by and check out your spot.
Well, you know, like we were talking about the meeting thing. It's like I'm on the outskirts of Dallas. Like I don't have a storefront. I don't really sell anything for anybody. Like
what's the address? I'm just
it's
kidding.
Fucking go fuck yourself. But I spend most of my day alone. alone, period. Like every once in a while, like I'll have like a phone conversation that lasts. I think I'm that guy you can't get off the phone with now. I realize that now when I'm thinking about it. Like
We have long conversations.
well, I want to call Jace because that's 2 hours. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna schedule that in my mind.
I have a pretty long drive to work, and that's when I call you. So if I got to deal with any like the other companies we work with or anything, my phone calls are on the way to work. So I like to do several things at once. You know, like
100%.
if I'm having a phone conversation, I'm gonna do it while I'm driving to work, so it's not eating into my work time. And I'll get in the car. I like, all right, I got to call this person. Boom, boom, boom. I call them. I pull out of my driveway. They don't answer. Okay, I did what I needed to. On to the next. Yeah. Boom. Who's next? Who's next? Dude, that's also why my phone's off, because I'll check my phone in the morning. I'll have 50 fucking messages and a bunch of missed calls, and I check it at night. It's so overwhelming that like when you click onto something and you have so many people that have hit you up that it almost makes you sick. And then I just like, no, I'm gonna step away from that. So I try and work through it and like set times, you know, like I have this block right here. I'm going to blow through this many messages and get back to this many people. And then the rest of it, I got to put it aside. Yeah. And I got to focus on my life.
Well, a big meeting guy.
Big fucking meeting guy. Dude, so I have a really good friend, Andy Griffin.
Oh, that's your boy?
It's my boy. So he's very, very fucking
Andy Griffin.
He's very fucking successful. Okay. And this dude is,
I might have heard of him.
Yeah. But not that one. That's Andy Griffith.
Maybe I haven't heard it.
Yeah, but believe me, I've been talking shit to him about that for years. But Andy's a real estate guy back in Phoenix, and he's a millionaire. He's fucking successful. Yeah. And he's always preaching, you got to schedule your time, block out your time, schedule. I'm not a fucking schedule guy. I don't want to schedule. I don't want to have to be anywhere at any kind of time. I hate that shit so much. But when you get to a point to where your business grows to a success rate to where you can't be that guy anymore. You have to fucking I got to schedule I got to use a calendar in my phone. Every time I got to do that, it makes me so fucking mad. Like, I don't want to be that dude. I want to be wilding out.
Let me ask you this.
Bullshit. I just want to fuck off and ride motorcycles and build shit and have a good time. I don't want to be the guy doing all this corporate work. But if you want to make a living, you know, you got to be responsible. You got to
figure it out. You're an iPhone guy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So,
what are you on, one of them dope dealer phones, or you got an iPhone?
Dude, I'm in the sauce, right?
Okay.
So
you have to have an iPhone if you're going to be an influencer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be an influencer, dude. Don't say that.
You've influenced me to drink today.
You fucking did that to me, motherfucker.
Okay,
Don't
maybe
do
I
that
did.
bullshit.
Maybe I did.
I was going to be sober this whole time. Dude, we even says, hey, we're going to drink that. I was like, no, dude, I want to be sober. I want to be like Harley's here. I want to fucking make an ass of myself.
Last podcast, he said that to us when we started. He's like, I don't know if I can get drunk, man, because I'm like trying to make an impression. I start talking shit. I'm like, no, it'll be fine.
Dude, I think I was talking to him before I came to y'all's fucking last podcast.
The last podcast we did together, we got Jace way fucked up.
Dude, you had fucking like Thanos hands and shit.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
The stormtrooper hat, your helmet.
I got to go play with your fucking toys
all
y'all
the
buy.
toys, yeah.
My wife will let me have shit at the house, right?
Yeah,
like,
so
I have a
it's all
lot.
in the
I have a
shop.
lot of toys. I'm a big toy, comic book, cartoons. I love all that shit. I'm a fucking nerd, hardcore.
Yeah.
And I love that shit. And I have a lot of that shit. And it's all at the shop. Like, you come in the shop, there are fucking toys in my shop. I have a lot of toys. I like that.
Swords.
I have all the shit. Like, when I was a kid, I didn't have nothing. So, like, I want that. I'm getting the stuff that I wanted when I was a kid. I have an original Optimus Prime in the box from 1986.
That's a flex.
Fucking flex. That's a big fucking flex right there. That fucking Optimus Prime is probably worth more than most of the shit I have in my shop. But if somebody got that for me for my birthday many, many, many years ago, I've had that thing for probably 20 years, and I've never. I'll open.
You feel like the older you get, the more
crack the box and smell it, because OG Optimus Prime has a smell to it. Them rubber tires on them real plastic parts. It's like.
It's like nerd coke.
Oh man, I just stepped back into a pair of short shorts and Bermuda shorts right there, you know? Yep. Love me some toys. No one's ever gonna push you to be a professional artist.
Yeah.
You know, like I still feel like I'm an artist. I can draw. Drawing was like my life when I was younger, and my dad was an artist and super creative, and I'd learned from him, and then millions of years of art class and all that shit. And it was It just translated, you know. I always had the big fucking, you know, what are them things called? The big portfolio things, you know, the big white pages full of art and just drawing like a motherfucker. And then I started building. And then once the building came came into play, and I started like building cars. I started building cars when I was a teenager, you know.
Yeah.
And just buying trash and trying to build what I could build out of things, and building bicycles and everything. Once I started building with my hands, the drawing kind of went by the wayside and became more drafting.
Yeah.
I would say I do more drafting now than anything else, which I can fucking do that like a son of a bitch. But I think it came from the art and some years of drafting class. But
sometimes the sketching it is a way of
all the art and just a little bit of education.
yeah, I think an artist makes the best bike builder.
100%.
You know, because honestly, if you can't do art,
Thank you, God.
yeah,
Thank you.
yes,
Thank you,
that's
Kruesi, for
something
saying that.
people that are born with. You know, like if you can't do art, how can you design? You know, like if that makes any sense. So like, I don't even all the bikes I build. Most of the bikes I've built over the years, I don't ride.
Yeah.
Like we've got a lot of bikes at the shop that haven't been rode in forever because I don't build them. For me, it's not like I'm building this bike because I want to ride it. It's more like this. I'm building an art piece. It's more art to me, and it's more like I love the build and I love to look at them and I love to build something that is an art piece. Like our race bike, the Softail, it's just an art piece in our showroom now. It's a bad motherfucker, but
Hasn't been started.
and
yet.
it's so fucking amazing to ride. But I don't want to ride it because that's my art piece. You know, like I don't want to fucking paint a picture and then go jump around on it in the living room. You know, like it's.
Yeah.
I look at it more like that, and I value the art and the design of everything, and it's everything I built. I still have one of those. What the fuck do you call those?
It's just called like a
Like
piece
an
of paper.
like an art book, paper book, whatever
pad.
the fuck. I still have one. It's the bottom drawer of my toolbox. Every time I make a new part, I draw it first. It's all drawn to scale. I measure everything out. I downsize it to scale, and then I fucking draw it out and I make it, and then I go from there.
How much like Trent, like you're getting like a fucking amazing education by being a part of this, obviously.
Yeah.
But also like, do you feel like the same way like this dude's like learning the sauce the way that you made it, but he's gonna make his own sauce too within Kruesi Originals as he grows it and does what he does in
He's
it?
built some pretty sick bikes already.
Yeah.
And I hope he just takes the sauce over and I can quit working pretty soon. I mean, that'd be sick.
Hell yeah.
I mean, about 5 fucking years and I'm leaving, bud. But
No, I mean, everything I've learned is from Ryan. I mean, yeah, I went to MMI and did that whole thing, but like as far as like aftermarket, everything like bike building or how to literally everything in how I've become myself is through this.
There's a lot of nuance that you learn from being around somebody that has appreciation for multiple facets of the way this works.
Yeah, like I didn't grow up drawing. I don't know how to draw. I can't draw a fucking stick figure. You know what I mean? But
pretty good at wheelies, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I could ride. Yeah, I could ride. But I've also, and I also wasn't really detail oriented.
Yeah,
that's something I've kind of grown. I'm not going to say I'm like crazy detail oriented now, but I definitely am more than I was 5 years ago.
yeah, being around
That's
me,
also
being around me that gets beat into you because that's like
detail orientation.
you got-
is
but
like
that's
also a part of like growing up and becoming older. Because when you get older, as you do the same thing over and over again, you see your flaws and you want to fix them.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you can see the flaws, that's the thing though. Like a lot of people can't see their flaws because they have blinders on them, thinking they're so good at everything.
Yeah.
I see my flaws in everything.
Have you seen my fucking social media, dude? Every time I paint a bike, I'm so fucking perfect.
Yeah. So everything I build, I see I could have done this better.
Yeah.
I could have done, and every build is like, it's a learning process. So it's not like, man, I've just built the dopest shit in the world, which I built some dope shit, but it always could have been better. It always could have been. So every bike, the Street Glide we just finished, it's sick. I love it, but I'm looking at it and going, okay, next time I'm doing this instead.
Yeah.
I learned something this time. I learned a lot on this one, actually.
Well,
the 24, have you fucked with the 24s at all? The baggers?
I'm waiting on a fucking
Dude. It's fucking light years ahead of the 23s, and anything before it is such a different motorcycle. It is.
You got to figure out the new beast. You got to figure out how to manipulate it, how to make it work with what it's like.
Hey, dude, that's the fun of it, though.
It's
like
fun.
finally,
Yeah.
I'm not just cookie cutting, pasting shit on anything more. Now I have a bike that's a challenge because no one has shit for it. The Nightster. No one makes a fucking thing for it except for us now. And that right there, that bike alone has sparked a fire in me back in the motorcycle industry again that I haven't had in a while. I've been a little burnt out
because it's
and that
called
bike
the Sportster. It might be harder to sell.
It's not called a Sportster.
It's a Nightster.
Yes.
There's a Sportster S and a Nightster.
The fucking dimensions are
it's a whole new
Dyna.
fucking
That-
demographic.
It's a
It
different
is.
demographic.
It's a whole new genre.
It's a totally different motorcycle. And like that bike has been more popular for us than anything else, but it's also we've gotten more shit talked to us about that bike than ever, which we don't get much hate normally on the YouTube, but we got a lot of fucking people talking shit. And my only reply to them is, you clearly have never fucking even picked one up off the kickstand.
Yeah.
You haven't rode it. If you just walk up to one in a dealership and lift it up off the kickstand, that's what I do to everybody when they come in the shop and they're talking about it. I go pick it up off the kickstand. And every time they go over and they pick it up, they're like, what the fuck? Because you can pick it up like this off the kickstand.
Yeah.
I move it around the shop by the fucking gauge with my hand.
I think there's a dude that's really
Just rolls
famous
around.
on YouTube just moving bikes around that way.
Really?
So maybe it's a new
Really?
fucking like
a new
it's like some
trend.
ASMR shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you just like move a bike out with one hand.
Real
you got-
cinematic
but-
shots.
you breathe heavy.
But back, but back to that, like with the
Slide the
Nightster,
kickstand on the ground.
everybody is so up in arms because it's so different. And like, it's not Harley Davidson, it's not blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fucking great, dude. It's a new platform.
Yeah.
It's something new that we can play with.
Something
Like,
fresh.
do I want to build twin cams for the rest of my fucking life? No, I've built enough twin cams to last me a lifetime.
Yeah.
I want new challenges. I want new parts. I want a new fucking foundation that I can build some new product for, which we are. And it's,
Well, and
Man,
people are
that
always like
bike
bitching,
is
like, "Oh,
so-
Harley's so stuck in the times. They're so old school. They're old technology. Now they do something that's up with the times."
Well, the problem
yeah,
is
and then
they're
they
like,
talk shit.
"What the fuck is this
fucking
bullshit?"
water cooled
It's like,
fucking
yeah, like,
that's the problem.
what the fuck
overhead
do you
cam.
guys
This is
want? Yeah.
bullshit. Like, you,
well, that's the problem with YouTube,
what
right?
is wrong with
Yeah.
you people?
If you really think about the problem with YouTube is like some of the biggest like channels that I've found through like just being connected with Harley is a bunch of people that are like making fucking reaction videos to whatever
Yeah.
they do. And
Yeah.
and like that gets a lot of like, so there's a wave of people that just are going to YouTube to find out what other people think about something that took place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, come talk to me about it instead of talking to some fucking dildo that has nothing
But-
to do with it.
yeah.
But
you know,
all like
I'll
the
give you my
reaction
opinion,
videos,
but-
like there's a lot of motorcycle people, right?
Yeah.
But Harley Davidson crowd and motorcycle crowd,
All I
they're-
want to happen
they're
from
kind
this,
of different.
I want, because I don't know
It-
anybody that sits in one garage and just spews fucking uneducated opinions about something, and that's their whole YouTube channel. Like, I want those guys to have to fucking do more and become more to have a voice.
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. You're going to shit talk me and what I'm doing on the internet as you sit in your garage. You just got off work from your accounting job.
Yeah.
You've never turned a wrench in your fucking life.
Yep.
You don't ride like I do. You don't do shit like
You
I
haven't
do.
been to any event outside of your time zone.
Man, were you? Do you remember the Facebook page that was created to shit talk me for doing a swing arm conversion on the soft
No,
tail?
but I want to fucking follow it right now. to
Dude,
see what's
there
going
was
on.
a
It was
there was a Facebook forum created literally just talking shit
some
about
business
me.
owners were on there.
Yeah, there was some people in the industry that were on there.
That makes
Yeah.
more sense.
I mean, understandable.
my
But
mindset's in a different
like
spot.
your
for what we're
Right.
doing, if we're gonna race drift across, we need to be able to like dump that thing down.
90% of dudes that wreck these bikes
and
and
keep
that's
ripping.
going to happen. They're not like trying to get up real quick and do more burnouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just hurt. Yeah, I think we saved all that. I'll get with Chris. We have the Nicers out of Long Beach at Saddleman right now. They're building a whole seat lineup, so they're gonna have everything available.
Then y'all just put
We're
that
building
video out.
we're building carbon fiber gas tank shells to take carbon fiber gas tanks, carbon fiber front and rear fenders, and the full seat lineup, some sissy bar shit, bunch of other stuff.
Nice.
So it's about to get fucking peppered. So we just bought another Nightster. I told you about that. So we're pulling the front end off of my Nightster with this kind of built, and we're putting it on the giveaway bike. Then the giveaway bike front end is going to American Suspension. They're building triple trees that are adjustable, so you can adjust the rake and trail and the forward and backwards, so you can bring the front end out like 2 inches. They're building a fucking 40. It's gonna be a 49 mil front end. It'll have 8 inches of travel. It'll have slow and fast dampening, preload, and compression adjustment externally on the fucking fork legs themselves. And then we have 8 inches of travel and remote reservoirs on the rear. And I want to hit like some moto jumps on the Nightster and just do like some gnarly shit. Like, I jumped that fucking dirt box. That thing just and just ate it. It just popped and landed, and I was like this fucking high off the ground and landed on flat blacktop, and it just like
that thing.
and
It just sucked
I was
it
going
in.
like this fast, and it went rup, and just went whoo, and just landed. I was like, God, if I had some suspension on this thing that was nuts, fuck, watch out, world. Watch the fuck out. I'm about to make some clickbait.
I was hoping that like after you two dudes got a taste of long distance riding, that you would be like, oh, next year we're going to fucking Narnia. We're going to fucking
I've already been to Narnia, brother. That's 2025, our plan. As far as show wise go, the main ones we're going to focus on is our bike week event, Sturgis and Sanctuary in October. And then instead of basically it's fuck rallies, let's ride. That's what we want to do. We want to put rides together and ride to shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of Thrash and Supply, for taking their motto, I think they've got it fucking dialed.
They have it figured out.
They don't set up booths. They don't put all that money and all that fucking money out to promote another person's show. They just show up and they just ride and they show up and they do stuff.
And they hang out.
And they have fun. And I'm like, man, you guys have got it figured out. So we want to put together I want to come to Born Free, Texas. I've never been.
First off,
we want
your shit together.
We want to ride.
Talk
to
about
shit.
what you want to talk about, so I can fucking just dump some fucking Born Free fucking loads on you guys right quick.
You want to?
It's a good fucking time in
Let's
Born
get
Free.
involved or what? Because I'm not in.
I would love for you guys
Born
to
Free,
get involved.
California. I could pass hard on.
Look,
that. I don't
the
want
guys
to
that put on Born Free, Mike and Grant, I've been very fortunate to get to know them personally, and they're good dudes. They really are. They are dealing with something that's so big that your opinions and my opinions is so null and void of what they deal with, that like it's understood that we all have opinions on what they should do, but we have no idea what it takes to make that sauce.
Matt's got something to say.
I was gonna say I was a Born Free first timer this year in LA, and I thought that it was. I went in, I was skeptical because I was like, it's like all the cool kids.
It's a great show, but it is much that it is like the cool kids.
But it lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
Such a
It is a cool show.
Yeah.
But Texas and California's
The California vibe though is
all in one place.
yeah.
For us with Born Free, like to be a part of Born Free, you got to be a part of a clique.
Yeah.
And we've never been part of that clique, so we've never been part of Born Free. I've been to Born Free a lot. It is cool. It's hot, but
hold it together.
Holding this table together. You're falling apart.
But we could. But Texas, I mean, I would really like to try it out. It looks Texas, Tejas.
Take that.
Tejas. But it looks a little more. I just want that. I like that old biker rally.
It
You know,
is
where
that.
people get to do shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk around and look at fucking vendors. I want to do
Tell
shit.
them how our booth was, dude. Tell them
Dude,
how
like,
the fucking
I
fast
think
life vibe was.
I feel like a motorcycle event should have things that people can compete in and fucking actually be involved in themselves, not just go and look at another fucking bunch of purses and stainless steel jewelry. I want to fucking do something.
that's the fine line
do
between
shit.
a fucking thing like Born Free California and a rally. And Born Free Texas is more rally based than California is.
California, you're not competing in anything. You're just going and walking around and looking at stuff. It is nice. There's
It
a lot
is,
of stuff
but-
there. It's big, but it's another vendor parking lot.
It is, but all right. So you got to look at the benefits of what California is. This is what the benefit of California is. California, for a guy like me who's in the central part of America in Texas, like that, where I can go to California and in this one fucking like bowl of like existence, I can hang out with like you got not yet you guys. You haven't been there.
Well, we've been a bunch of times, but
Yeah.
we don't go anymore.
All right, so next year we'll be with you guys. I can hang out with all these people in the industry, and I can like rub shoulders and like network, and that's what to me as a business, that's the only place. Sturgis is the biggest event of like motorcycling, but to go there and be in the same like 400 yards of every fucking buddy in my industry does not exist.
Yeah,
It doesn't exist.
we're spoiled that way though, where we're at because.
Yeah. I mean, you're a part of it.
We kind of get that. I admire what they've done. They built a great show out there. It's just we used to go every year, and it was fun. But then we started to try and get involved with it, and
It's hard. California's hard.
We straight got blown off. Like just we got blown off.
Yes.
So then I was like, well, then fuck you. I'm not going to do anything with your show then. So, but then when you get bigger, then the blowing off becomes, hey man, you should be part of this. Well,
Where
fuck
were
you.
Yeah.
I remember the blowing off.
Yeah.
So I don't.
The vibe at
Misfits,
Born
great
Free,
song.
Texas is not California. It's not at all. And
It
when I
looks a lot
say
more
that,
rally style.
it's a rally style. It's
Yeah.
like you come to this event, you're on premises for 4 days. You don't have to leave, right?
Yeah.
It's a fucking really great time.
That's how Born Free used to be. You used to be able to camp out there, and
Yeah.
it was a big, crazy fucking party. Like I've leveled up my stunt riding at Born Free back in the day. Like
yeah.
it used to be really, really wild, man. Like the campouts were wild enough that they got shut down. So I mean that's usually the way it goes. But
yeah.
and it's the same. Like you go back to Durango, like early years Durango, when we started doing that shit with John Oakes, like that was grassroots rally, and that was like
That was
the fucking greatest,
shit.
the funnest rally there was, because we literally would show up Thursday and we would be competing in something until Sunday. And me and Trent were dominating, dude. We were dominating flat track. I was winning all the arm wrestling contests. We were doing fucking
Left and right.
joint rolling contests.
Crushing
Fucking
him.
Everything, dude. It was fucking awesome.
I forgot
dude.
they
It
did
was
a
just,
joint rolling contest.
yeah, dude. It was just
roll fucking
anyone
joint,
who
I'll
was
tell you.
anyone, didn't matter who the fuck you were, you could get into something and you could get involved in something and
Yeah.
compete. And then Oaks went away for Oaks being Oaks, whatever that deal was.
Yeah.
And then they came in, and Trevor and Chip took over, and they're good dudes, and they've got good intentions, but they took it to more of a corporate style. They brought in fuck's his name, the flat
Alex
track.
Mock.
Alex Mock to run the flat
AMA.
track.
They
Which
made it.
Alex runs a
yeah.
very professional flat track, but they took a flat track race that had a stadium crowd on their feet the whole night
Yeah.
to a flat track race that halfway through it's empty, because
Well,
flat track's fucking boring to watch. I'm going to say it right now.
When the
Nobody
professionals
wants
show
to
up,
sit
that's when
through
nobody wants to
fucking
go
4
anymore.
hours
Yeah.
of fucking flat track.
It's better when a bunch of kids are out there on 110s.
Yeah, when you got 50
Chugging beers
dudes
and
in
Ray
dinosaur
Floyd.
costumes beating
Yeah.
the shit out of each other on 110s.
Right.
all
So
that shit.
basketball was like, the NBA was amazing, and Jordan comes around, it's big, and then all of a sudden this like and one thing comes out where it's like 3-on-3, it's fucking like
Oh,
raw
man.
shit.
Street. And like,
Yeah, I remember that. That was
Everybody
And then
wanted
everybody
to watch
wanted to
that
be-
because it was like fuck all the fucking strategy, fuck all the like
The
jujitsu.
technicality.
I want to see a
Yes.
Yeah.
fucking like Indian burn.
I don't want this. Like, I don't want to go to a motorcycle event to watch boring, professionally run shit. I want to go to a I rephrase, not a motorcycle event, a Harley Davidson event. So I could go to a regular motorcycle event. It's going to be more professional. But if I'm going to a Harley Davidson style rally, an American V-twin rally, I want motherfucking chaos.
All right, yeah.
I want biker shit. I want old school biker games. I want to push a keg down a dirt track with my motorcycle half fucked off. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want a beer chug race with my friends. I want motherfucker from RPM taking a fucking full can of beer and filling his fucking helmet
Oh
full
my
of it, then
God,
jumping on the
dude,
bike
yeah.
and hitting the throttle full throttle.
Somebody
and-
else's helmet.
some kid's helmet, some kid's helmet from the audience who let him borrow a helmet. It was his turn to fucking take off on the bike, and he just cracked his hand open, filled his kid's whole helmet full of beer, jumped on the bike, nailed it full throttle with his feet behind him, and blew off through the fence at the flat track out into the horse stand. Dude, it was amazing.
It's a liability nightmare.
Crowd was on their feet.
That was the last time we saw that dude, too.
All right,
let
we haven't
me-
seen Josh from RPM, man.
RPM.
Let me ask
Fucking
you this.
amazing, dude.
You know what I'm stoked about, and I think that you'll attest to this, is like, you know what I want to do? You know what I want to do so fucking bad? And I don't even know. I hope that I'm also financially in a good place in
Learn
my
how
life.
to make traditional Japanese tea.
What the fuck?
I do want to do that.
I want to be able to be here in 20 years and do whatever the version of this is
100%.
and be like, bro, you remember we were talking shit about this? How fucking crazy was it that it changed so much and we're still like a part of the world?
You know why you'll still be here in 20 years? The rest of them won't?
Oh, sorry.
Because it's real. When you keep it real and you're not a clickbait flash in the pan, it's a big difference between the people that have been real since day one. They've been honest since day one. They've been real to their customers since day one, and they haven't fucked people over. Like, there's a lot of people in this industry that make a living off of burning people.
Yeah.
And we're almost done with 2/5 in this podcast already.
Like a
but
fucking adult.
like a fucking adult. But it's it's real.
Yeah.
It's being real. It's being honest and being a stand-up motherfucker. Those are the people that last.
Yeah.
The long game people that stick around, and you're not fucking burning people. You're not Michelle Hale, you know. So,
Oh.
I'm here for the long game.
And
I want to be 75 years old and just, you know, popping in once in a while. And Trent's probably, 40 at that time. And he can just be running this shit and taking care of business. And we can still keep this business rolling.
I just assumed. My bad.
Like, you look at a lot of these biker build-off days. Yeah. How many of those dudes flashed up and then flashed the fuck away, you know?
Yeah.
There's very, very few of them that kept in a career, you know? Billy, Jesse... Who else from Biker Build-Off actually outlasted Biker Build-Off?
The Billy story arc is
Yaffee.
fucking wild.
Yeah, so it's like, but I mean, he got into a bunch of shit, but he didn't lose his business for fucking people over and being a shitbag. He was a straight up dude who created value for people, and he did an honest job, and he was good to people. Like, if you're a good motherfucker and you're good to people and you're not fucking people over, you're going to continue to grow. You know, that's really all it boils down to, is don't be a piece of shit. I've always wanted everybody to come up with me, because I'd never been the like.
It's that No Limit Studios bullshit, dude.
Yeah, you don't want to be like clicky. Like when I hate fucking cliques, you know, like, fuck you, that guy can't hang out with us, he's not part of this group. Fuck you, I'll go hang out with that guy, because let's all, if you bring everybody up with you, it's just going to be more profitable for everybody, including yourself.
And more
100%.
fun.
And more fun. I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
It really boils down to a good time. If I'm not having a good time, I'm straight up not doing it.
That's the biggest sell about motorcycles nowadays, is a good time.
100%.
It really is. I mean, everybody wants to get away from fucking politics and fucking, sorry, I'm drifting. All the fucking negativity in the world. Like, we just want to fucking escape from the world and go be a part of like something that like provides a lot of value to us. And like, motorcycling is that. But when your hobbies become politicized to the sense where it's like you have to fucking identify with certain things in your hobby, it's like, this isn't fun anymore.
I'm not hip to any of it. Like, we were talking about this the other day in the shop about some other things, new stuff that's happened in the industry that we don't know about because we don't follow anything.
Yeah.
And we're like, man, are we that out of touch? Because we're literally just busy doing what we want to do, what makes us happy. We're just doing what makes us happy and what we enjoy.
We're just creating our own lane.
Dude,
I'm honestly, I don't give a fuck what other people are doing. I'm sorry if that's selfish, but I don't give a shit about what other people are doing in the world. I want to do what makes me happy and what we enjoy doing. And if we enjoy doing it, it's going to be a lot cooler to people instead of us just doing some red Solo cups are so cool. I'm going to build a red Solo cup. I don't give a fuck about red Solo cups. I'm going to build a fucking whatever this thing is because I like this thing. Yeah. I want to do what I want to do. And if I don't want to do it, I'm not fucking doing it. And you should live your life that way. Everybody, I'm looking at this camera right now. I'm looking at you, motherfuckers. Like, if it's not fun and you're not enjoying it, quit doing it. Don't do it. You don't have to do it. You don't have
the original motherfucker.
You don't have to fucking do what society tells you to do. You don't fucking have to. You don't have to go to college. You sure as fuck don't have to go to college. You don't have to fucking do any of that shit. You can go be your own person. You can be whatever the fuck you want to be as long as you're willing to put the effort into it. That's all.
The work, though. Yeah, there is a lot of work involved in that.
It's the work. But put the work in. But if you're putting the work in to better yourself and to make the life that you want, it's a hell of a lot different than putting the work in to make some other dude's life better and to buy his fucking wife a new house. Like, if you're building your own shit and you're really working towards what makes you happy and what you want to do, then it's a different, you're living a better life. Whether you're making more money or not, it's about value of life and value of your time and what makes you fucking feel good.
I think that speaks a lot to I don't want to say it, but the Kruesi product, where you guys have been able to do your own fucking thing for so long while everything else has been adjacent to you guys, but you guys have managed to stay relevant this entire time while doing your own thing. Yeah. That just speaks volumes to the shit you guys are doing as opposed to everybody else. Like, everybody else is following trends, hopping on XYZ train.
And they come and go.
Yeah, and you guys have got that longevity.
They're there, then they're not. And
yeah, like, you guys have been able to fucking, like, just stick through every movement, every new trend, but you guys have been just doing your own thing.
Can I say this?
Everything.
The only thing I've been envious about this entire podcast is the fact that he's wearing shades. I'm so fucking
These shades are also brought to you by Kruesi Originals.
Those Kruesi shades?
Oh, that's KOE eyewear. That's our other
corner of the lens, the left lens.
Oh, shit.
Try those on. That's quality on a whole nother level right there.
Camera on me, dude.
Everybody looks good in those shades. Yeah, look at that, dude.
Those are called the made man.
Out of our
tell me.
Kingpin collection.
The problem is,
tell
like, I
me.
want to let my wife see this, but I don't want my wife to see y'all in this. Does that make sense?
I don't want to get her that wet either.
Dude, you better not get my wife wet. You better not.
I'll wet you, fool.
You better not. I'll fucking fight you.
My wife's on this app, all right? Chill.
Hey, this motherfucker's a made man now. It's cool.
Face.
Dude, that's sick,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
You know, when you're
And make it
you're
cool.
following
Yeah.
trends, you're just a sheep. And when you're just like, and honestly, I don't think that we're like trying to not follow trends. It's the fact that
Trying
we're just
to identify yourself within a trend.
no, we're just straight
Maybe.
up not paying attention.
Yeah.
We're
There is a bit
I
of
mean,
that. Yeah.
I don't look at Instagram. I don't like.
So
I don't follow.
readers?
No, I mean, I wear readers. Can we get readers? But it's just I don't.
You want me to take them off?
No, I'm just.
I'm also very
getting turned on.
fucking
Yeah,
alive, dude.
like what I like, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm not into other shit. Like I'm very fucking opinionated, you know, and anybody knows me knows that.
God
but
bless you.
But yeah, but I like the things that I like, and I like the visions that I like, and Trent likes what he likes to do, and like we build the things that bring us joy. You know, and that's it. We're not building things because I think this is going to get the most clicks, or I think this is going
It's
to be
authentic, man.
this is going to be the thing that people
It all
like.
goes back to just be real.
I don't give a fuck if people like it. If I did that, I wouldn't have built a fucking street glide because everybody is like, oh, you got to build a
Weird
fucking.
hey, weird flex, by the way.
You should have
but
built
okay.
a road. Yeah, you should have built a road glide. Fuck you. I like riding a street glide far better than a road glide. I like that model
Well, we've
better.
been talking about all this shit, and we've been going on this rabbit hole. We kind of like skimmed over the whole aspect of why we're here, but like this whole process of building this street glide alongside, you've done a lot for the street glide fucking identity, in my opinion. Like
the whole Batwing identity.
the first thing, like,
Identify as a batwing.
Identify as Batwing.
so you've been around long enough, and you can attest to this. It's like the street glide was the fucking man,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden Big Wheels came around, and road glides became the man.
The original big wheel bike was a
Were
street
street
glide.
glides, weren't
It was
they?
an FLHX.
So it
Street
became-
glide was the first bike to make the bagger popular.
Exactly, 100%.
No
The street glide was
no,
a fucking jam.
There ain't a motherfucker out there that was riding a bagger besides some old ass dude with a fucking tour pack and his old lady on the back.
Yeah.
That was it. No one fucked with baggers. That was old man.
And every time he
fucking
got the
lame-
bike, he
that
did
was
this.
That was lame shit. Yeah. That was lame.
Guess
shit.
what I did
Soft-
last
soft
night?
tails.
Pretty good.
Everybody rode a soft tail,
Yeah.
including myself. Like it was night trains and fucking 200 mil fucking rear tire soft
Yeah.
tails. That was it. And then the FLHX came out, the fucking street glide in like 06. And then that was like the hottest shit on the market. It was like the first, it was a performance Harley Davidson. It was a performance
The
bagger.
stripped down version. It was like
It was the first bagger that was made to fucking just rip, you know, like it didn't have a tour pack, it didn't have all leg warmers,
wasn't a
didn't have all
full
the shit.
dress.
but it was one of
Yeah.
the
It was
like it was a
bare
good
bones.
timing situation because at the same time, if you're right, you really got to understand, like in 2006, you're on the fucking downward fucking spiral of choppers.
Yeah.
So before bobbers became the fucking next, small craze out of choppers, the street glide was like the answer to like a bike you can finance and get insured.
No, we're talking TV choppers, not like OG choppers. We're talking like
No, we're not talking period
OCC
correct
shit,
choppers.
right?
We're talking OCC, fucking every
fat
builder.
tire,
Yeah.
Pro
choppers.
street choppers.
Pro
Yeah.
street,
Pro
all that
street
shit.
I like to say TV choppers.
And then
Okay.
the bobber scene lasted what 3 years,
Yeah, it was like a,
maybe, and then 09 just crushed everybody.
but it was also
dude.
adjacent to the fucking like rockabilly. There were so many things that take place. You had tattoo culture coming back, where you had like all this fucking rockabilly pinup girl thing, and you had fucking rat rods became a big thing. Bobbers, rat bobbers, all this shit. It was like
I hated that scene.
it was a fucking identity crisis scene.
Yeah,
And Big Wheel Baggers is a product of what Phoenix is 100% responsible for that. There's
it came out of there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I built one of the first 26-inch bikes. When I
Yeah.
worked at Trask. Yeah, we did one of the first 26-inch wheels on a bike.
and that bike was the first bike that the people that were used to spending $100,000 on a chopper for TVs and marketing, Geico, Progressive,
Yeah.
Camel, whatever. All of a sudden, baggers were like this thing that, like, okay, we can do this, and we have all this surface to advertise and do this and blah blah
Yep.
blah, and it became a big thing.
Yeah.
We don't have to buy a custom frame. That bike that we built was for a White Sox player. It had a Jim's like 131 or some shit in it,
Yeah.
a 26-inch front wheel. bro bars, ape hangers out here, like unrideable as shit, you know, like just awful. But yeah, it was that was 2009, you know, and that was like one of the first ones we did. And then that's all I did at Trask. We built big wheel baggers. I went to Nassie, and Jim was like not having it. He was pro street guy. And then customer had to have a 23. So we put a 23, and then American Suspension came out with a bolt-on neck kit. I did all the R&D for them in like 2010. I've fucking worked with them for a long time. I did all the R&D, like we did at Nassie, we did the R&D on their necks, and we did all the testing, and I did all that shit. And then we were doing like bolt-on necks, and we started cutting necks, and we started doing all that shit. And then we were building 26-inch bikes, and then we were doing, we never did like 30s and all that fucking dumb shit. That's like buying a diesel and putting fucking 26-inch wheels on it. You know, like you just keep putting bigger and bigger wheels on it. Not because it looks good.
Dude, we're in Texas.
First off, that's a California thing.
Is it?
No, it ain't.
First off,
I mean, that's just a doucher bro thing everywhere. If your wheels are bigger than 17 inches, if your wheels are bigger than 17 inches on your truck, you are a fucking dildo. Is my whatever. Sorry, sorry, 20s. But
hey, I keep them clean though.
No.
I keep them clean.
Yeah. There's not enough sidewall on your fucking tire after 17 inches to be a feasible truck.
Off, me and Ramon been fucking rubbing all the way down from Dallas.
Like,
he's so concerned. He's so concerned.
That tire's gonna blow on the way home.
He's out there with like 2x4s, like just roll it back and forth. Let's get this.
I wanted a lower single cab so bad. I was like, I can just throw my bike in the back, blah blah blah. So I like searched, and I found this, like, I don't remember what year it was. It was a Cat Eye Chevy, had a Cam 5.3 in it, C-notch, Beltec, like immaculate single cab, beautiful truck. Bought it, got a good deal, bought it. I fucking hated that thing so much.
Man, it
driving it, dude. Yeah. You hit a pothole and it break your teeth. Like, whoa, bam, bam. So I was like, give me a set of 37s on a 17 all day long, man. Maybe aired down to 20 psi when I'm driving down the street. I'm fine.
Well, my hope is that, like, with this van, like, there's a lot of things like.
Is the van lowered?
Yeah, dude, it's got drop signals.
Yeah,
it's gnarly.
I only saw the front. It looks like.
I kind of want you guys to ride to the hotel from here to there.
I'm in.
So you can, like,
I'm in.
I'll get in the back of your van.
100%
mad shit, like,
But
here's the thing. It's like I
love you got candy in the van.
No candy required.
How about puppies?
No candy required.
Puppies?
No puppies or candy.
Finger jobs.
Finger jobs.
I mean, you know, I'll try anything.
It's a jerk and pull van.
The thing about it
jerks
is,
and pulls you inside the van, and then you just get.
You know, it's funny. It's like we post
Sure.
pictures of the van, and like everybody chimes in. They're like, I think
real rough.
Matt over here chimed in, like, you need to get a fucking window in the back of it, like you gotta get the bubble, like some kind of.
Yeah.
You can get.
I'm like, no, dude. I'm just trying to get to ride right, dude. It's fucking. It's like a goddamn.
Hey, have you ever seen Cheech and Chong, the next movie?
Yeah,
God
dude.
damn, it's
fucking
beautiful.
good times.
Pendejo.
Or what is it? Is it Good Times or is it Nice Dreams?
Nice Dreams.
Yeah,
great, dude. The next movie when he's in that like work van, he's like, "Oh shit, we're in the wrong neighborhood. Hold on, Holmes." And he walks out, he hits it, boom, and the side pipes drop down, and pop the hubcaps
Dingleberries come out.
Like, God, I wanted that van so bad.
Well, you
nice
know, my
Aztec
wife and
warrior on the side.
I don't know. This is like a next level flex. When you, like, we've been building bikes. You've been building bikes are everything, right? The love I have for customizing a motorcycle, my wife could never enjoy. There's no algorithm that fucking solves that problem. It just doesn't.
Same.
I figured out how to make my wife pay for this.
What?
Wow.
She's so stoked about the van. She's like,
Hell yeah.
About the van or the band?
Oh, the van.
She's so stoked about the band. We're getting back together, bro.
No, dude.
She's paying for
She bought the wheels and tires.
Really?
She's like, yeah. I was like,
I could get my wife on some van life.
So
yeah.
because
It's trendy.
It's on TikTok.
It's fucking trendy.
my wife loves to travel, but she wants, if we can like fucking not have to be in a hotel and we can be on the beach in a van.
Yeah.
100%.
My wife would be all about van life as long as it had a very luxurious shower and bathroom, and it was 1,200 square feet.
Goddamn fucking 18-wheeler.
Yeah, no shit. I want to live the van life. I'm like, motherfucker, you won't even camp.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Well, for her, it was like I mean, honestly, in a weird way, it was, my wife she's been a part of the motorcycle world for fucking 10 years, being a part of our life. You know what I mean? But she's, in a weird thing, it's like in this world of like Harley Davidson, the whole culture, it's like if you're a part of it the way I know you guys are, then like your women feel so pressured to have to be a certain type of woman in it, rather than just to be a girl that just like to be a woman that likes like the fact that you ride bikes. I don't want to ride a bike myself.
Does your wife ride?
No, she doesn't want to.
I won't even ride. I don't even want to ride them.
Like my wife loves motorcycling, but she has no desire to be a fucking, a chick that's riding across country.
No, but she's going to support you because she probably loves it because she loves you.
Yeah.
And same, my wife hates motorcycles. None of our kids are even allowed to be near them or anything because we've lost so many friends, and myself has been fucked up so many times.
Yeah.
And she won't have nothing to do with them being near it, which my youngest is building a drift car right now, but that's a different
pretty rad.
situation.
Yeah.
The cage
Yeah.
stuff.
But she's not into it, but she loves me and she supports me. But does she go? She'll go to a couple events a year if it's at a place that she wants to go to. Like she loves Durango, so she'll go to that. She went to Sturgis with me because she wanted to see it one time, but she hates motorcycle rallies and all that type of shit, which it's understandable.
But that's the whole
I
point.
sure
of
as
like,
fuck don't want to go to a natural fucking wood furniture fucking conference, but. Yeah. It's the give and take. If you could find a chick that was like way hardcore into it and everything like that, maybe some people can find those chicks. They probably have chlamydia, but it's really weird being this hardcore into this world. And
I think it's weirder for them to be around.
It's our whole life. This is our whole life. This is more my life than my home life. 100%. This is my life. This is.
I hang out with this dude more than my lady.
This comes first. It's real life.
I wish I had
this is fucking everything.
I'm so alone all day.
Oh,
And for them to like kind
you
of
could FaceTime
be on the outside, they're really kind of on the outside looking in, which they want to be a part of it because they love us and stuff. And they are a part of it as much as they can be. But when you're not, you don't know if you didn't grow up in the motorcycles or you're not really on the motorcycles or know what it really is or know the passion or really what it does for people and what the motorcycle community means to people that are in it. Look at it. Look at right now. This is what motorcycles do. And if you don't know that, but you still love someone that's in it, it's a fucking battle. It's hard. I wouldn't say it's really a battle, but it's hard to balance that, with the wife and this and keep them kosher, but being on the road all the fucking time doing motorcycle shit, and being in this all the time. And it's all the time. Like our job is 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
like it doesn't really end because when you become obsessive about things, I'm very, very obsessive compulsive about everything, so it's when I'm on a build, that build is my life. That's like, I'm sorry, but this is what I have to do right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not because I have to do this. There's a deadline. No, it's internally, I have to do this. I have to.
Well, it's to the point where if you don't,
I'm going to have a fucking autistic freak out right now.
Yeah.
Because I have like, I get in a car, I have to roll a window down when I get in the car. I can't get in a car and I have to roll a window down or I can't breathe. Like that type of shit.
Yeah.
So when I come to like building something like fucking cans, right?
Your OCD comes out. Yeah.
I need to build this and I have to do it. So now, honey, I'm sorry. I love you so much, but this is coming first.
Dude.
So when it's not coming first, you really got to make up for it. You really got to dive in deep and really fucking get over those things. Because
I told my lady, it's like, yes, I need to do this right now. Because if I don't, then the time I spend with you, you're not going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to be thinking about this. So
Yeah.
let me come knock this shit out. Yeah. And then the time that we spend together will be a lot more.
my wife's
involved.
real good with that.
I feel like you have a good house.
I bitch and complain, like any motherfucker does who's been married for a long time. But my wife pretty much lets me do whatever I want to within the means of being respectful. But as far as like she's been with me since the day I started at Trask, so she knows, like when I first started going to shows and doing rallies, she just thought it was some sex crazed fucking orgy and shit. And I was like,
I wish.
Like, yeah, right. And then I started taking videos. I'm like, look, man, this is what's here, dude. I mean, are you fucking serious?
Dudes.
I'm like,
Dudes.
look at this.
A lot of
she started
dudes.
coming to events and she was like fucking throwing a fit about me going to all these motorcycle events. I'm like, this is my job, man. This is why I'm here. This is what I want.
Yeah.
And I started taking her and she was like, Okay, yeah, I understand. You're cool. It's fine. It's just a bunch of dudes. Like I've been single for a long time. Also in the motorcycle world, I spent like 3-4 years of running amok in the motorcycle world, and never once on the road did I have I ever pulled a chick.
Yeah.
Not one fucking time at a motorcycle event ever, because that's never what it's been about for me. It's about the boys. Like when I'm at an event, all the events are like big giant reunions, and it's about like, I'm here to see my boys.
Yeah.
I'm here to hang out with the dudes. And if I'm chasing pussy, that's fucking taken away from time that I'm here for. I'm here for the boys, and I'm here for the fucking motorcycles, and I'm here to fucking just create an amazing time. And like, you can chase broads anytime. I go back to Phoenix and it fucking flourishes out there, like
there is, being from a place like Phoenix.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like 10-1 there, but
yeah.
You think Brazzers would ever sponsor bike culture?
Is that still around?
If they were smart.
I mean, I just think about it, like, hey, look, we got fucking free subscription to Brazzers. We know you like to jerk off. We're taking care of you guys. Let's go. Look.
There was an ad right there. We know you like to jerk off.
Why can't we bring fucking porn into like this natural world?
I mean, it's probably the highest money making industry in the world. Why not get a sponsorship by it? That's a goddamn good idea.
Write it down.
I mean, who else is reaching out to them to be sponsored by them? No one.
Hey, Jace, timestamp it.
Timestamp.
Dude, think about that. I
Yeah,
mean,
100%.
throw them a fucking media deck.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
Send it to
Promote it.
OnlyFans. Like
Dude.
OnlyFans, the corporation OnlyFans.
We have an OnlyFans.
Yep.
Nice.
If you go if you
Our
go to
link
Kruesi
tree?
Originals, our Instagram, and you hit the link tree, there's an OnlyFans.
We're going to see.
It just takes you to OnlyFans.
It takes you to the login page.
If you have a link tree, you have to have an OnlyFans, right?
It's so
Yeah.
funny.
Dude, so many people be hitting that thing trying to find our OnlyFans, and it just takes you to OnlyFans. If we could start an OnFans and just all the shit that people tag us in, we could just put it on OnlyFans.
Just put it up
It's
there.
like a shit talk
It's
post.
OnlyFans.
oh my
Nothing to do with us.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Everything we get tagged
I'm
in,
full of
just
ideas,
like
dude. I'm full of ideas.
But,
full of them.
dude, that's,
chock full of them.
we probably get tagged in 20 pictures a day. We
Yeah.
could just load them on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Watch out, guys. It's not coming because I'm
Yeah,
not
they
taking
never
on
really
theirs.
say what type of fans, like just fans in general.
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Fans.
Only.
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Only. Solely.
This is only for the fans.
exclusively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they definitely
Oh
could.
my God.
But
No.
they could beat me in a
shit.
fist
No,
fight.
no.
Oh,
No. Who invited this
you guys
dude?
made it?
Oh God.
These
they are.
guys
Hello.
trailered in?
I smelt you
Is that
from the
what
parking lot.
Fuck no.
You guys get flats on the trailer? Is that what took so long? What's up, dude? How was it?
Jace.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh my god.
What's up, dude?
Did y'all get rained on?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
We spent about 2 or 3 hours in solid downpour on the way here.
Solid downpour shit. Yeah, we just got
Yeah.
missed, but then in
No.
probably last 30 minutes, we just started getting all the road ground.
Yeah.
Dude, we were on a road that was so slick. I was like at 80 miles an hour. I gave it gas and rolled a burnout, and then I'd hit the rubber shit in the road, and my bike was like, "Yeesh,
First off,
yeesh." I
We
was
got
just
on the
like
frontage
60.
road. We got on the frontage road, and he was gonna stop to turn left. He stops, like goes to lean, hits the brakes. The bike just goes like full sideways
Went
on him.
right into, like, the
we were going
fucking
like
K
10
rail.
miles an hour.
Like, we're almost there.
Yeah.
Don't fucking drive.
We were literally right here. I was like, dude, don't eat
these
shit
dudes are
right
talking
here.
about like, oh, I turned the throttle while I had 200 horsepower to my
He
availability.
does have a turbo
Yeah,
on a
yeah,
135.
dude, and,
Yeah,
like,
there is.
hitting the fucking
Hook up
pump.
right. You know?
On Shinkos, too.
I hope you
Oh,
know
yeah.
this audio is fucking.
It's gonna be
everywhere
fucked.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hectic.
Well,
It's fine. We have
let's wrap
guests.
this up so that we can enjoy the night. And in this version of the podcast, we'll get his version of y'all's fuckery tomorrow.
Crashing your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
No, we
sorta.
just talk to the microphones for fun.
Yeah.
KruesiOriginals.com. Kruesi Originals on your mouth.
That's
Hey,
right. For every $5 you spend at KruesiOriginals.com, enters you in a chance to win a custom motorcycle built by us.
There you go. Spilled.
like and subscribe.
I will. No, for real. Like, everything you guys have been doing for the last couple of years, and the way that you guys have grown, not just the brand, but like being susceptible to the way the world has kind of evolved, and being a part of that is been super inspiring.
Man,
know
you
what I
can
mean?
see how we've grown through your podcast alone.
Yeah, I mean,
From
yeah,
the first one to this one.
Yeah.
You know?
but I'm so stoked to be able to like talk to you guys while you're doing it.
How long ago did we do the first podcast? Was that
Dude,
4
it
years
was-
ago?
it was
When
like
I did the
mid-COVID.
podcast with you guys, the first podcast was before COVID hit.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was like 4
2019.
years
I
ago,
flew out to
4 or 5
Phoenix
years
to
ago.
I was going to sit down with some people to talk about doing merch.
Yeah.
And we were in town. We did the whole podcast. I had a designated driver. My buddy came through and
Yeah.
hang out with us. I got fucked up.
We did.
And
yeah,
just being
we
real.
weren't even doing YouTube or none of the shit we're doing back then. We were just a motorcycle shop and stunt riding and shit. And you were in town. You're like, hey, man, you want to do a podcast? I was like, yeah, fuck it, man. You
Well, that's
came
the
in
thing
and we
about
just
that
got-
podcast. When we did that podcast, every fucking part of that is us meeting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had just met you.
You know, like we're like, hey, I'm gonna fucking like push the boundaries of what our friendship is gonna become.
Yeah. And dude,
And
that
just
was,
shoot the shit. You
that
know
was
what
a
I mean?
fucking glorious
We set up a
podcast,
folding
man.
table in our showroom.
I still hear
Yeah.
I still hear about that shit everywhere we go.
Oh,
all
dude, the
time,
Fast
dude.
Life podcast. Yeah.
Yep.
I really appreciate you guys being on it and doing what you did to help me grow as well. You know what I'm saying? And even whenever we flew you out to Dallas and you were a part of that, that was a good podcast, but like you were on your weed smoking part of your life and I wasn't really into weed smoking. I'm not good at it. And I'm like,
Oh, we got you
I'm
good and
smoking. I'm
stoned,
like,
yeah.
I don't
got
know
you.
how to fucking be.
Yeah.
It was still a great podcast.
Yeah, that was still
It was a good podcast, but it's a deep cut for a fucking fan.
Yeah.
It's a deep cut for a fan. The third podcast, I was coming through y'all's town. We did a late night fucking dude. When I left y'all's spot after drinking with you guys, I still rode all the way to the border of fucking New Mexico and Phoenix that night.
Jesus, that's
And
a terrible ride.
I slept in my fucking Jeep that night.
Oof.
Damn.
You know, but like it was a great show and it was cool to do that. Bring the video to y'all's shop. You know what I'm saying?
The first one we did wasn't videoed, huh?
No, it was just audio.
Yeah.
The world of podcasting wasn't really
There
fully
yeah,
into
yeah.
audio yet. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
crazy.
I'm so glad that you guys rode your bikes because I think that's the next phase of your brand that you don't even realize
100%.
yet.
100%.
Yeah, that's 2025. That's what we want to do. Like we
Yeah.
built mile munchers. That
Yep.
was the point of the Street Glide and the Softail for him was to build some mile munchers. Like we want to get back to riding motorcycles and not like hitting lots and stunt riding and going just trailing because we have to trailer to every event. Like, well, I rode
Because we
mine out.
set
I'm like,
booths up. I mean, we do
that's-
set like
I
booths
mean,
up.
I
There's
understand
that
that's cool. You
aspect
got
of
to
it,
ride
but-
yours out, but we have to bring a fucking 20-foot booth and a fucking 30
Merch,
foot
I never did it.
And
thing full of
fucking,
all
yeah.
that bullshit. And I'm like, we don't want to do that shit anymore. We just want to ride to stuff and get back to the shit, get back to the roots. Fuck rallies, let's ride.
Exactly.
Fuck
Let's get
rallies,
together. Let's just
ride.
get in there with some boys and just hit the road and go do some shit. Because that's what we used to do. Like I've been on a Harley for 20 some years, you know, and the first many years of that before I got into stunt riding was fucking riding all over the place. And this was paper map time, you know.
Yeah.
And we would just hit the road and leave fucking Thursday night and just ride till Monday and sleep where we slept and find new towns and new places. And that shit was awesome. I want to get back to that.
Well, hey, Trent, Kruesi, thank you guys. I'm really
You're the man.
stoked about what you guys
Yes,
are doing.
thank you.
And thank you guys for fucking remembering who I am.
Come the fuck on, dude. Yeah.
Real happy,
Hey, I
happy
still-
to be here, and we are happy to do a podcast with you anytime we can.
I appreciate
man.
it. Yeah, I really do.